Joe Rogan Podcast. Check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
Cheers to you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Good to meet you.
I've enjoyed your songs. How did you, well, first of all, how long you been doing music?
I think most of my life, you know.
Did you grow up in a musical family, or is it just something you picked up on your own?
No, everyone worked and made art when they weren't working.
Oh, okay.
But no music really. But that I liked music.
Like, what kind of art did your family do?
Like my mom would always paint. She put like murals on the walls of the house and stuff. And my old man's a mechanic, and he would be tinkering around, making all sorts of fun stuff, usually with his welder and whatnot. So I felt like they were artistic folks, you know, but they didn't necessarily do music. You know, they're smarter than that.
And so I only know of you from the videos that you put up on Instagram. And specifically, I think it was the United Healthcare guy was the first one, right? Which was really good, dude. It's the lyrics, and the timing of it all, you captured the moment. And that song, to me, was like, yeah, that's what the fuck is going on.
Right.
That's what's really going on. They don't give a shit about you, and they're just trying to make money. Mm-hmm. And that's why when this guy got shot, there was this reaction from people. Yeah. Which is very rare when someone gets assassinated, when people celebrate.
Right.
When someone's not like a mass murderer or something.
It was bizarre.
It was bizarre.
It's I mean, it must mean something is up. If people are celebrating somebody's death, something is wrong.
And across both sides of the aisle, it's not a political thing. It is a human thing. They're like, these people, they take your fucking money, you pay them, and then when something comes up, you don't get covered. Mm-hmm. And there doesn't seem to be any repercussions. And to fight it, you have to go to court. And you usually don't have the money to go to court. No. And they have a lot of fucking money. Right. And they, you know, have been doing this for a long time. And now they're using AI to make sure that they pay less. So they're using AI to approve cases. And the numbers are even lower than they were before. So United Healthcare always had a lower number than industry standard, right? Yeah. Now it's even, with AI, they're going to be able to chop it down to even lower. It's like, at what point in time does this become against the law? Like, at what point in time is this like, it's a con game? Like, you're paying, you're thinking you're going to get covered, and they're like, nah.
The system would have to be revolutionized. I mean, you can't have health for profit at that point. You'd have to socialize the medicine at some point.
Which I agree with, up until a point. The problem is human nature. And like if you hurt your shoulder and you need to get an operation on your shoulder, you want to go to a guy who does the Lakers. You know what I mean? Right. You want to go to a guy who is like, this motherfucker is the cream of the crop. He is dialed in. He's been doing this forever. He's super focused and motivated. And he drives a fucking Mercedes, right? And the reason why he drives a Mercedes, he makes a lot of money doing what he's doing. Yeah. You don't want someone to not feel appreciated, not have the motivation to continue to get really great at their craft. Like there's a thing with just human beings. There's a financial motivation that people have because it's a quantitative thing. You could see it on a ledger. You know that you're making more money because you're doing this and you're working harder and you're getting this reward, whether or not it makes sense or not. As soon as you eliminate that and everybody gets the same amount of money and then you lose all the killers. Right. You lose all the...
No, all I mean is that you just don't want to have to go to an urgent care and it costs $500 to get a pack of antibiotics.
100%. Well, that's a giant scam.
So, but that's a scam that so many folks are stuck in, you know.
That's only part of the scam. You know, the healthcare scam, it goes so deep. There's so many different layers to this fucking horrible den of vampires. Right. You know, because it's whenever you can make profit off of people and you're involved in a corporation and then the corporation has an interest its stockholders want more money every year. They want more money every quarter. So that's what they try to do. Right. That's their focus. And when you're doing that with people's lives and people's health, like that should be illegal. That's where it gets fucked.
Right. I suppose that's why folks were. It was upsetting to see. I felt like I actually had kind of an unpopular opinion about it, and that why are we celebrating somebody's death? Like, that seems far out. Just to celebrate the murder of somebody with a gun.
Not only that, I believe unrelated to him in his case.
Like, how far out is that? And so I didn't want, I make these tunes, but that one in particular, I was like, how do I address this? What do you even say? So
how do you approach something like that? Do you sit down with a pad and pen, or do you start writing? Like, how do you start singing?
Step one is avoid the work. So I went I went for some long jogs. I wrote a song about Amazon instead, and put up like Amazon is Santa Claus, and I kept sitting there, and it kept getting. The situation was snowballing with the United Healthcare thing, and I was like, okay, you gotta write. And at that point, it's a research project. Let's write 2,000 words so that we can have 300 to sing, and boil down the essence of the issue, and make it rhyme, and put a jolly tune behind it. That's kind of how that goes about.
That sounds like super similar to stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I think
you boil it down.
Yeah. Get and you don't. It's just punchlines. So find the punchline of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Find the punchline of everything. I never had the attention span to tell too much of a story or anything like that. So I like just keeping it in punchlines. So I always like Mitch Hedberg and Stephen Wright. We're so good at that. Just come out and lay out a bunch of punchlines immediately. If one doesn't land, on to the next one.
Well, that was the daunting thing about their act, which is so impressive, is that it's all non sequiturs. So every subject is new. Yeah. Every time they open their mouth, it's a new subject.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy. It's a crazy way to do comedy.
Yeah.
But when you're an absurdist, it's probably the best way, because it's an absurd way to think, right? You're just going from one subject to the next in each minute burst. Yeah. Somebody asked me if I want a frozen banana, and I said no, but I want a regular banana later, so yes.
Yeah.
That's like such a ridiculous joke. I used to love listening to him in particular when I was in traffic, because it would like chill me out. Like if I was headed to the airport in LA and it was just fucking clusterfuck on the highway, I'd just throw on some Mitch Hedberg and just start giggling. It was just silly, He's
one of the coolest.
He was awesome. He was awesome. Let's play that song. Jamie, can you find that one? The United Healthcare song? I want to play it so people know what we're talking about. So
Building and a person and a chair, and you paid for it all, though you may be unaware. You paid for the paper, you paid for the phone, you paid for everything they need to deny you what you're owed. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. Now the procedure that you're needing ain't the cost-effective route, and only 2% of people end up winning a dispute. So if you get sick, pray to God for help, 'cause your doctor's gotta pray to United Health. Way back in 77, Mr. Richard T. Burke started buying HMOs, putting federal grants to work, made 50 billion buckaroos. Last year, the Warren Buffett of health, the Jeff Bezos of fear. Now CEOs come and go, and one just went. The ingredients you got, bake the cake you get. But if you get sick, cross your fingers for luck, 'cause old Richard T. Burke ain't giving a fuck. Commoditized health, monopolized fraud. Here's the doctors we own and the research we bought. They own the pharmacies and a lot of the meds. They should start buying graves to sell us when we're all dead. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. There's hardly humans in humanity.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's a great song. That's a great song. And it's interesting to me how few people are doing what you're doing. I don't know of anyone else. I'm sure there probably is a few people out there that I miss, but I don't know of anybody else who takes things that are in the zeitgeist, these big stories that come up, and turns them into a catchy tune and does it in a way where you laid out, really the problem and the whole thing, like you said, in punchlines.
Yeah. There's a lot of folks doing it right now and more every day. But there's a precedent for that kind of work, especially as far as like Woody Guthrie was really I was reading a Woody Guthrie biography, and my old man was in the hospital. He had just had a heart attack, and we didn't know like what way it was gonna go or whatever. Anyway, I don't know. Just seeing him all hooked up to that stuff and thinking, if he died, I've hardly had any time to even know him. He's hardly had any time to know anything. We don't get very long down here, and I'm reading this Woody Guthrie biography, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna sing the news, because that's really what Woody was kind of doing in his day, because there's folk music around him, and he teamed up with Pete Seeger, and he was on radio programs, and he could have played. He had the choice. He could have played standards. He could have played country western music, and stuff like that. But he liked making folks laugh, and he liked telling it how it was. I like both those things.
I saw Woody Guthrie live when I was a little kid in San Francisco.
Arlo or Woody?
I think Woody. Which one was alive back then? Was it Arlo?
Yeah, Woody died.
Okay, so it must have been Arlo. Yeah. So it was 19, let me guess the year. I was 11?
Yeah.
So maybe, 10 or 11.
Yeah.
No, it was San Francisco, so it had to be, I lived there until I was 11, so it was probably around 9 or 10, now that I think about it. But yeah, he performed live. God, I wish I could remember more of it.
And Arlo played this kind of, he went a little more surreal with it, which is super groovy. But he carried on the torch for his old man.
So Woody died in what year? 67.
Yeah, 67. He got a Huntington's disease and was laid up in a home for quite a while. He lost the ability to speak and everything.
What is Huntington's disease?
A rare genetic disorder. I don't really know what it does, other than, look, he's pretty young.
Breakdown of nerve cells in the brain.
Yeah.
His mother also suffered from the same illness.
Yeah. So
what causes that? Why do I have a feeling?
Bad luck.
Maybe not. Why do I have a feeling there's some environmental toxin involved?
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying?
He was sitting next to it. He was in East Palestine.
Pennsylvania? No way.
No, I'm kidding.
You're joking.
But I mean,
obviously it's a different time, but there's so many parts of the country that have been polluted by industrial waste.
Right.
There's so much horrible shit out there.
I mean, maybe he was riding on trains and boxcars and stuff. There's no telling what they were hauling around and that sort of thing. But he played the political tunes. I don't, and maybe he's a continuation of a long-standing human tradition of like bards going from town to town and singing the news. I don't know, maybe there was some medieval dude going around singing about the king. I doubt it. And I don't know, but maybe there
I'm
was.
Sure.
Just because I don't know if it's a uniquely American tradition, but when I do it, I get romantic about it and kind of think of it as a uniquely American tradition, because you got the freedom to do it,
right? And
no one's gunning me down in the field there or anything for anything I say, So I get to.
That's why I doubt if anybody was ever doing anything the way you do it when they were doing it about the king. It's like find that dude.
The knights, the knights go hunt him down or something.
Yeah, maybe a few guys tried, but I bet they killed him.
Or maybe you hired, you co-opted the bard, you turned him into your fool, your jester, or whatever, and then he sang songs for you about how fat the neighbor king was.
I think that's a different guy. I think you're dealing with a different guy. The guy who is the jester, that's the fucking vampire familiar. You know, like in Blade, the guys want to get close to the vampires because they eventually one day want to be a vampire. They promised it.
Who was in Lord of the Rings? Who was like Theoden's dude? Worm tongue, or something. Anyway,
I don't remember.
People very close.
But that's always the Dracula story. There's always a familiar. There's always a human that does the bidding of the vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, perfect. Exactly. Yeah, same kind of guy. Fucking creep with a questionable hard drive.
Was he in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Was he? God, that
Is
seems
that
weird.
Like Billy Babbitt?
He would be so old.
Yeah, I know.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest
was it 67 or something?
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. I mean, but was it?
Yeah, that guy's been in everything. That's him now?
Oh, not now. That's him now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Time is such a motherfucker.
Okay.
He was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Far out.
Oh, wow.
75.
Yeah.
75. That's a great fucking movie, too.
Yeah.
That's an eye-opening movie about healthcare. Speaking of which.
Well, in an era of sanatoriums, and stuff where you...
Right, and then people glorify that as like, we need more mental health institutes. That's why there's so many homeless people on the street. And like, have you ever been? We definitely need more mental health.
Yeah.
100% those people need care. But do they need the kind of care that they were getting before they were released on the street, when they were giving people electroshock therapy and fucking cooking their brains?
Those, at least whatever's going on in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is essentially a prison.
Yeah.
Well,
they're all
with electroshock therapy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and lobotomies until like 67.
Yeah.
They were just cooking people's brains with a wand, getting in there and scrambling up your brain.
It's so...
Dude, they did lobotomies for decades.
Yeah.
Decades. Until enough people had their loved ones turned into zombies that they were like, hey, maybe we should probably fucking stop that.
Didn't they lobotomize Kennedy?
Yep. Apparently, she was just wild.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Well, first of all...
So I would have been lobotomized...
I don't know if you... Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, first of all, the men were wild. She was wild sexually. Is that part of the accusation, that she was very promiscuous? They had a problem with her, and they wanted her to calm down, and so they fucking scrambled her brains. And apparently, she became non-functional. Like, they really they dialed it up to 10.
So.
And that was it for her. This is part of the show where I talk about AG1, which I've done for years, and usually I like to talk about routine. And don't get me wrong, because routine is super important, and AG1 is exactly the kind of daily, easy routine that can help you feel healthy and help you get the nutrients that your body needs. But even if you love a routine, isn't it nice to switch it up a little? Well, here we go. After 15 years of the original, AG1 has introduced 3 new flavors: tropical, berry, and citrus. It's still daily, it's still a routine, but it's no longer one flavor fits all. And honestly, the best part is that's the only thing that's changed. Besides new flavors, we're talking about the same science, the same 75 plus ingredients, and the same exact benefits. I partnered with AG1 for so long because they're committed to constantly improving. And now that includes offering 3 new flavors. Subscribe today and choose tropical, citrus, berry, or the classic original variety. If you use my link, you'll also get a free bottle of AG-D3K2, an AG1 welcome kit, and 5 AG1 travel packs with your first subscription. Just go to drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan or head to the link in the description to get started with AG1 and try the new flavors yourself. That's drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. When Kennedy was 23, doctors told her father the lobotomy would help calm her mood swings and stop her occasional violent outbursts.
23.
So Joe Sr. decided that Rosemary should have a lobotomy. However, he did not inform his wife, oh my God, until after the procedure was completed. The procedure took place November 1941, Sins of the Father in the book, 1996 biography. James W. Watts, who carried out the procedure with Walter Freeman, both of George Washington University School of Medicine and Health Sciences, described to Kessler as follows. After Rosemary was mildly sedated, we went through the top of her head. Dr. Watts recalled, I think she was awake. She had a mild tranquilizer. I made a surgical incision in the brain through the skull. It was near the front. It was on both sides. We just made a small incision, no more than an inch. The instruments Dr. Watts used looked like a butter knife. He swung it up and down to cut brain tissue.
Yeah.
We put an instrument inside, he said, as Dr. Watts cut. Dr. Freeman asked Rosemary some questions. For example, he asked her to recite the Lord's Prayer or sing God Bless America or to count backward. We made an estimate on how far to cut based on how she responded. When Rosemary began to become incoherent, they stopped.
What a tragedy. Holy cow. Yeah.
Scroll back up. Go back up. Scroll up so I can hear it.
How many folks
Okay.
were getting these?
The nuns of the Covenant thought that Rosemary might become involved with sexual partners and that she could contract a sexually transmitted disease or become pregnant. Her occasionally erratic behavior frustrated her parents. So she got expelled from summer camp, and she was staying, it says, and staying only for a few months at a Philadelphia boarding school. Kennedy was sent to a convent school in Washington, D.C. Kennedy began sneaking out of the convent school at night. The nuns in the convent thought that she might be involved with sexual partners and that she might get an STD or become pregnant. And so then they decided to give her a fucking lobotomy. Imagine that. You send a young, healthy girl to a convent with a bunch of fucking creepy nuns, and she just like breaks out in the middle of the night, like go to hang out with her friends or go meet up with a guy or fucking something.
Yeah.
And so they go, well, the solution to this is cut her brain and have her talk until she can't talk anymore, and then we know when to stop cutting.
That's insane. Meanwhile, Kennedy's got his.
That wasn't even
he's running his escapades.
Oh yeah, they all were. The father was like, there's.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's true or not true because we used to say it, and then there's been things disputing it. But of course, who knows how much money is involved in this in the first place? But supposedly, Kennedy Sr. was involved in illegal liquor during the time where there was prohibition in this country.
Yeah, I thought he was a mobster.
He definitely knew some people, which was what helped his son win Illinois.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like I don't know what's true and what's not true in terms of him being a moonshine runner.
Right.
But it tracks. You know, and the whole family. They're
Seems
fucking,
like an incredibly lucrative business to get into during Prohibition. I don't know who wouldn't be running liquor.
Especially when you can control the police. You know, especially when you had money and you were involved and you had your foot dipped in all sorts of organized crime and, you know. Then you had souped up NASCAR cars that they were using to drive. That's where NASCAR
I guess
comes
that's
from.
the roots of. Yeah. So if it
Running from the cops.
Yeah, if it weren't for Joe, we wouldn't have had Dale.
Yeah,
So-
right. Wouldn't have had the loop. Yeah, it's just a crazy practice that they did for a long, long time just to get rid of people that were a problem.
So what's the modern lobotomy? What are we doing right now that we're gonna read on Wiki, or whatever?
Oh, there's probably quite a few of them.
15.
There's probably quite a
that
few
we
of
go,
them.
Holy cow!
I'm sure
We were-
gender
we were
transitions for
taking-
children. I'm sure that's going to be on that list.
Or taking, I don't know, like prescribing benzos and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be on that list for sure.
You know,
benzos
that's
is
just
the
like
craziest
a
one.
chemical lobotomy. Or
Well, benzo doesn't give you a chemical lobotomy, but it does make you 100% hooked on it.
yeah, well, it's just the stress you would undergo getting out of the addiction. You might never come back fully or get your life all the way back after an addiction like that. you know?
Well, I know several people that have had that problem, and it is a real struggle.
Right.
Like Jordan Peterson has publicly talked about it. It took him over a year to recover
Right.
physically just from being addicted.
And that's actually going to rehabs
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Well,
There's
if
a
you
lot
have
of
the money.
folks, most folks, they ain't
Right.
going
They don't have the money.
nowhere.
Right.
You know, they get off it and then drink themselves to death or
Or do cocaine
something.
or do something
yeah,
else.
find something
or
else.
or the psychiatrist puts you on some new kind of pills to satisfy whatever the fuck was wrong with you in the first place.
You can get off one and hop over to the other.
Yeah.
Go back and forth. And
it's a real problem. And when someone gets on that ride, it's hard to get off. It's hard to get off the take this pill to fix it ride.
Yeah.
That ride is a very popular ride.
Yeah. I mean, folks like having a doctor tell them it's all right, you know. I guess it's like if they get an authority figure told them it's all good to take this pill, you know, or whatever.
Well, not only that, especially with benzos, especially in the early days, nobody even told them that it was almost impossible to get off of.
I mean, a patient kind of figure that out pretty quick.
Well, they don't, because they keep taking it, right? You keep taking it because you're addicted to it.
If you forget a dose, you start feeling those withdrawals come in, you know, or
well,
whatever.
apparently find this out if this is true. Apparently one of the things about benzodiazepine is that it alleviates anxiety, but if you stop taking it, your anxiety maybe even elevates past where it was before you first took it.
Oh, yeah.
So there's like a slingshot effect.
That's what I'm saying. When you get off of anything, all sorts of stuff rattles loose in your head, man.
For sure.
And everything gets worse for a period of time.
But what I was going to get at
better.
is it's one of the few where you could die if you get off of it.
Right. It's like that and alcohol. Those are like the two things, right?
So here it is. During early withdrawal, an individual may experience a return of anxiety and insomnia symptoms as the brain rebounds without the drugs. But it doesn't say a rebound. How long does it last? Many people stop taking these medications, experience increased anxiety or restlessness, referred to as rebound anxiety.
Yeah.
Rebound effects from benzo withdrawal, such as anxiety or insomnia, typically last 2 to 3 days.
See,
I don't think that's true.
Still, I mean, the insomnia itself is enough to cause all sorts of different.
Yeah. How long does
you get
what's
belly?
benzo belly? What is that? Benzo belly can depend. Is it like a diarrhea, such as the type of dose of benzo? What does it mean? Some people experience. What does it say? What does it say it is? Benzo belly. What to know?
Put that
Common side of cramps.
Yeah, gastrointestinal symptoms.
Oh, well, you're
add that to
fucking poisoning your insides.
to the Pepto list.
Your body's like, what are you doing? Oh, look you could get nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, bloating, indigestion. You know how they do that at the end of the commercial?
Yeah.
Indigestion, loss of appetite, constipation, weight loss, bloody diarrhea. You might want to die. That's the craziest ones, when the side effects of antidepressants are suicide.
Yeah.
There ain't no you in United Health.
They make folks are making money. As long as keep the money rolling in.
As long as they keep mushrooms illegal. There's a lot of things that could be fixed in a very natural way that people have been doing for thousands of years that you can't do. At least in Texas, they opened up Ibogaine again.
Right.
So that's new, where they're going to do these. They've done them so far, these trials with soldiers, and it's super effective, man. Especially for getting off drugs.
Yeah.
Like really, really, really effective. Like 80% for 1 dose, and in the 90s for 2 doses. People just quit pills, quit everything, quit drinking, whatever.
It's amazing.
Whatever's fucking with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's natural tools out there to figure out. Like, people get in patterns. Right? They get in these terrible behavior patterns, and they don't know why. They don't know how to get out of them. They keep falling into them because they're like tightly grooved into the way you think.
Yeah.
And unless you can leave for a moment the connection that you have to this existence, where you're continually trapped by your patterns, unless you can leave and look at those patterns, you're just fighting against so much gravity and so much momentum.
Right.
And then whatever the life that you've chosen, you're around the same people. There's so many things that make it very difficult to really change your life, outside of escaping briefly and getting a look at it from some.
So it's like Ibogaine, like smooth out all the ruts. Or?
Ibogaine. So I've never done it, so I can't really speak to this. But from the people that have done it, what they explain that it does, first of all, it actually stops physical addiction. Somehow they don't totally understand how it's doing this, but it stops physical addiction and sort of rewires the way your brain, and for lack of a better term, looks at addiction. It also is, it's not a drug that you could abuse recreationally. Apparently, it's not a fun time, and it's a 24-hour experience. And this 24-hour experience...
Is it psychedelic?
Yes. And this 24-hour experience is essentially a review of your life and showing you, like, you remember this happened, and these guys beat you up after school, and then that sent you down this road, and then this is why you think about this and this. And it, like, lays out why you're in all these different fucked up patterns in your life.
Do you have a spirit guide?
I don't know.
I
don't know. I mean, I think it's...
Ibogaine council?
You mean while you're doing it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They have centers. What is the place called in Mexico that former Republican Governor Rick Perry is an advocate of this?
Right.
And he went to that. Is it Beyond? BEOND? They've for the longest time they've been doing these things down in Mexico because it's legal there.
Right. Does ayahuasca do something similar?
Yes. That's a lot of people go down to Costa Rica and do that, or there's certain churches that have a religious exemption in America.
Right.
Which is wild.
What?
You go to church and really meet Jesus?
Yeah.
Like for real.
Go
Like,
out
are
to
you ready?
Utah or Wyoming and
like New Mexico, places like that.
Yeah.
Is like, somewhere where like, well, how many followers you got? You got 1,400?
Yeah.
All right, well, don't get too big.
I've been to a church in a couple basements. Like
Really? Well, the weird thing is if anybody wants to start a new church now, like, good luck. They'll crawl up your fucking ass with a microscope. Like, if you want to start a new church now, it better be a Christian church. Like, you better be following the same religions that the people have been following for thousands and thousands of years. Because if you try to cook up a new religion today, they will Waco you, son. They will fucking...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
You get a good following.
Religions, they get weirder and weird. I don't, like, in America, they get weirder and weirder kind of the more west we went, the more we manifest destiny out.
Point.
Because, like, you have, like, Puritan pilgrims land and, in New England, and the weirdest of them move a little bit more west, or the Quakers just go to like Nantucket, to be on an island and be isolated. But, eventually in about 100 years, you've got Mormons,
yep.
And then give it another 100-something years, then you got Scientology out in California.
Yep.
Right?
Have you seen American Primeval? The Netflix series?
No.
It's really good. Really good. And it's about, the settling of the West, but a big part of it is the Mormons. Right. And how fucking gangster we think of Mormons as being like these really sweet people, like, No. Not back then.
No. Nothing was in the West, man.
Yeah.
It was death incarnate. Like, I don't know. I imagine it like Blood Meridian, like McCarthy's book, where basically, it like follows the story of like this kid who goes on a scalping mission, where their job is to go down into Guadalajara and then come up in through the States, and they scalp pretty much everyone they meet indiscriminately and then take those scalps back for dough. It's for a bounty.
Which is crazy. How much is a scalp's worth?
I don't know.
Imagine that. You just find some dude who's like fucking taking care of a lawn or something like that. Or
I'd take that over a
garden.
lobotomy. My scalp.
Some people lived.
Grow back. Yeah.
There's people that lived.
Yeah,
it's really crazy.
I've seen that picture. It's like someone had been.
Guy had a top hat on over this giant
wound
over the top of his head, which I wonder how long he lived, because he basically had like an open skull facing the earth.
I guess you play dead while it's going down.
Maybe they just let him live.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This episode is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. There is such a thing as having too many options to choose from, like when you're scrolling on the TV trying to find something to watch, or have you been to one of those ice cream shops where they have hundreds of different toppings to choose from? It's overwhelming. The same thing can happen when you're hiring and you get inundated with applications. Well, it's time to stop stressing and use ZipRecruiter instead. Their innovative resume database can help you find and connect with the best people for your role. Try it for free now at ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. What makes ZipRecruiter's resume database so special is the advanced filtering feature. You can use it to hone in on exactly what you're looking for from the hundreds of thousands of resumes that are uploaded monthly to the site. And when you find a potential candidate, you can unlock their contact info instantly. Skip the candidate overload. Streamline your hiring with ZipRecruiter. See why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. Again, right now, try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Rogan. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Chihuahua's bounty program offered fortune seekers 150 to 200 Mexican pesos for each Apache, depending on age and sex. Men worth 50 pesos more than women and children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today that equates to about $8,200 per scalp.
Yeah. So
this is far more than most prospectors would ever make in the California gold fields. $8,000 per scalp. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How many people, just innocent people, that just happen to have dark hair got scalped?
And they would, and like in McCarthy's book at least, which it follows the Glanton gang. I'm pretty sure at times they kill some of their own gang.
I'm sure.
Just because they were dark-haired.
The most prolific of these operatives was an Irish-American named James Kirker, who led a massacre of more than 150 Apaches in 1846 and ultimately killed at least 320 Indians during his bounty hunting campaigns. Scalp trade. $8,200 for scalps. You imagine, like, if you have a lawless country, which is essentially what the Wild West was.
What that was, yeah.
And then you offer up $8,000 every time you kill a person.
Yeah.
Ooh, you can get rid of people quick.
And you're going to have the wildest of the wild are going to go out there and tame that land, man.
The craziest of the crazy.
Yeah.
And that's essentially...
Calls them out.
Oof. And that wasn't that long ago.
No.
Man. That's what's so crazy. You know, we're talking about 150 years. Like, what is it? But how long ago was it? Not that long ago. In California, scalp warfare eliminated nearly 90% of some tribal populations. Holy fuck,
Were they doing that into the 1890s?
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's 135 years ago. How crazy is that?
It's pretty wild.
That's hard to believe. Direct government support for bounty payouts? Whoa. Direct government support for bounty payouts with blunt calls for the extermination of tribes and mass murder of men, women, and children provides an important new perspective on the question of genocide across the long arc of Euro-American interaction with Native communities. The Apache scalp that FBI agents seized in 2022 is one of thousands, perhaps tens of thousands, that were taken, redeemed, displayed, and in rare cases like this one, preserved as a part of a long and gruesome history of scalp warfare. So it was in an auction house? That's how they found it? Whoa. FBI investigating Apache scalp seized from Fairfield auction house. The item was seized from the Pauline Art Antiques and Auction House as part of an investigation into the illegal trafficking of human remains. Whoa.
And like
Imagine someone kept that.
When does the karma come in on this bloodshed that founded?
Well, I'm certain it did for the individuals involved.
I wonder if it's generational, if these things, if the universe will continue to sort itself out.
Well, I think
over this time.
I think this is a very unique time for understanding people. You know, I think we have to, you know, when people look at all the conflict and all the drama with human beings right now, you have to realize, like, yes, yes, we could certainly live better lives, and we can certainly have a better civilization than we have right now. We can do better. But we also have to realize what we're coming from. Like, to make an adjustment from 1890 to 2025, I mean, this is a big swing of this fucking battleship.
Unrecognizable.
People were horrible all throughout human history. And I think that's what we really have to come to grips with. It's not just, I mean, we can go back to the Mongol invasions in the 19, what is year? The year 1200? How long ago was that? What year was that? With the Mongols. I think it was in the 1200s. You know, I mean, the Inquisition. We can go to World War I, World War II. People were fucking horrible forever. And it's just more people are talking about it now than ever before. You know, you had universities in America which were the anti-war movement started in the 1960s, and the hippies, and they were starting to get acid and realize, like, there's more to life. Like, this is bullshit. The way our parents are living is bullshit. They're miserable and they're going to die. And it takes a long time to turn this big-ass battleship around. But I think we have to give ourselves some understanding about the past and realize, like, part of the reason why we're so fucked up today is, like, look what we come from.
Right.
Yeah, look where we come from. I know we can do better. We definitely can do better. We should do better. We should have a way better life, way better society. But look where we come from.
Right.
We come from madness.
Yeah. Absolute chaos. Chaos and bloodshed, my friend.
It's just the ability that a person has to sign off, a person in the government, say, yeah, okay, give them some money so they go kill some Indians indiscriminately. Give them $8,000 per scalp and a little less for the women and children.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 130 years ago, 140 years ago, 150 years ago. That's nothing, man.
Right.
That's nothing. You know, that's your great-grandpa. He was alive back then. Hard to believe.
It's far out. And
It really is, man.
I wonder if things are, you know, probably seem a lot cleaner as far as chaos and bloodshed now in the continental U.S. and the Union and stuff, but who is sending folks to go do that abroad to protect the homeland, you know, under the auspices of protecting the homeland?
Who's doing the exact same thing as they were doing then, just in a different way.
Because I really think we stay this, as much as has changed, and we can measure that. We totally can. But I think also we stay the same, you know.
Well, until we're forced to change. Yeah.
And
until we recognize the need to change collectively.
Yeah.
But there has to be a discussion of it. It's not something that just organically happens. You know?
I think of, like, do you ever see this is Hollywood, but Apocalypse Now?
Sure.
Was it Francis Ford Coppola, and it's got, like, Martin Sheen and Marlon Brando and Dennis Hopper and Robert Duvall and all those cool cats, and dope movie. But it's written on this premise of a book that was written in, like, 1899 by Joseph Conrad, like Heart of Darkness.
Oh, wow, it's that old?
And Heart of Darkness was talking about a conquest of, I believe, the Dutch, I'm not sure, into the Congo. And some atrocities and stuff that were happening there, treating people as subhuman. And I don't know if there was scalping or anything, but I think that there was slavery and that sort of thing. But Coppola was able to adapt that and then put the Vietnam War as the new premise. Going into, I think Sheen's mission and in the movie at least was to go upriver into Cambodia or Laos, I'm not sure which, and take out a rogue U.S. general who had basically enslaved a population of indigenous there. All that to say, I wonder if, like in Vietnam, if the folks fighting out there felt like in that moment where you're killing somebody, if you realize at that point that nothing has ever changed, and that there's something primeval in man with this violence, that this violence is innate, or is this violence innate? Is this how folks are, and there's no helping it, and there's nothing that's ever going to change it? Because you can get kind of cynical that way, or and I kind of tend on this more idealistic, and at times it seems naive or stupid to have an ideal that folks could live in harmony, in peace, without taking one another's lives,
The problem is they've never done it before.
That's mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
Because it is in all. I think it's in a lot of us, deep down.
Well, it has to be. Because that's the only way we survived. That's the only way we got to where we are today.
Right.
Because we existed before language, we existed before empathy, before we understood each other, before we could communicate.
Yeah.
So any being that you didn't know from somewhere else wanted what you had, and they would try to take it by force. So the bigger, stronger ones survived, and that's why the best genetics kept going and going and going. I mean, it was just survival of the fittest. It exists in nature and exists with humans. And that's the basis of our DNA, unfortunately. Like, that's how we started, right? And so that the way it manifests itself today is fucking drone warfare.
Right.
And bombs and, dropping bunker busters out of B-2s. That's what it is. Or B-12. Is that what it is? The B-12? What's the big one? B-2. B-2? Feels like it should be a bigger number because it looks like a spaceship. You see how they flew it over Putin? Like, look at my dick, my flying dick. Dur, 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 dur. You see, Trump did that when Putin was in Alaska. They flew a bomber over his head. Like, what are we doing? Why are we flying the radar-resistant bomber over Putin's head?
It sounds like a show of force.
Look at my dick.
Yeah, this is what these games. But like. Is it? Yeah, I wonder, is it within humans to exist in peace without?
Well, we certainly can.
Could it be done
in small groups, right? Like if you, me, and Jamie. I've said this before, but about other guests. If we were on an island all together, we wouldn't lock each other up. We wouldn't. We just figure it
together.
Out. Like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go fishing today. We need firewood. You want to get the firewood?
I'm going to go for a long jog.
Okay. Get that jog in.
Okay.
Get your cardio in. But you know what I'm saying? Like there's only a limited amount of us. We wouldn't have a need to go to war. And most war today is about resources. Most war today is about controlling parts of the world where there's an infinite amount of money in the ground. Whether it's oil or now it's rare earth minerals and stuff they need for batteries. And that's what a lot of it is. I mean, that's what a lot of the conflict is in this world. And that's gross. It's scary. But if you ask the average person, like, what are the odds that there will be no more war in your lifetime? And they'll say 0%.
Yeah.
Everyone will say 0%.
I know. It's so far out. It's just, I think, the folks that go to war, like if you signed up and went to Iraq and in like 03, 06 or so, and you're securing, or no, maybe not Iraq, but you're going to Afghanistan and you're securing opium fields and stuff, and you're out there, you're risking your life, you got the gun on, you are prepared to take somebody's life, but for what? And like
we need opium.
What are you asking? But we'll fight. Like we'll fight. We'll fight. It seems like for the sake of just for the sake of the hunt or
well,
something
if
like
you
that.
ask the soldiers when they were signing up, hey, do you want to go to Afghanistan and guard poppy fields? They'd been like, what? No, I want to fight terrorism,
Right.
motherfucker. I want to stop the people that did 9/11 from doing it again. That's why a lot of people signed up. But then the reality kicks in once you're standing around poppy fields with a machine gun, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is a scam.
Right.
And, I don't know how much internet access they had while they were over there, but if they did and they ever Googled what percentage of all heroin comes from Afghanistan, the answer they would have got is 94%.
Yeah.
And they would have been like, wait,
So,
what is this?
So then it takes a larger it takes essentially a psyop in order to get men to fight for the interests of the people who are performing the psyop.
Yes, you have to create a psyop that puts a narrative out there that makes it noble for us to be doing what we're doing.
Noble.
Noble.
We're such suckers.
Yeah.
It's a noble cause. What's more noble than letting somebody live?
Yeah, we're less suckers now than ever before, but yes, a lot of us are suckers for these narratives.
Well, I'm a sucker for it.
Oh, I am too.
Everyone is.
Did you ever read that War is a Racket? Smedley
Butler.
Did you ever read it?
No.
It's really good. It's not long.
Yeah.
It's really good, and it is essentially outlining what we're talking about, but it was in 1933.
Right.
And Smedley Butler, who, when he went to all these places and did all these wars, he thought that he was doing good. He thought he was protecting people. But then at the end of his career, when it all, like, the fog of war had kind of faded, and he recognized the patterns, like, each time. Pull it up, Jamie, just so we can get a look at it.
Was Smedley the one where there was a coup and they had asked him to...
They asked him to take...
Right.
They asked him to overthrow the fucking government
There
of the
was
United States of America.
a documentary I used to watch by Francis O'Connelly, I think is his name, but it's called Everything's a Rich Man's Trick, and he would always talk about Smedley D. Butler.
Yeah, he was a bad man, in a good way. But this thing that he wrote, so you can get if you just go to the Wikipedia site, War is a Racket.
So this is before even World War II.
There it is, right there. It contains this summary. Make that a little larger, please. There, scroll.
Who makes the profits?
It says
Who
war
pays
is a
the bills?
racket. It always has been. It's possibly the oldest, easily the most profitable, surely the most vicious. It's the only one international in scope. It is the only one in which profits are reckoned in dollars and the losses in lives. A racket is best described, I believe, as something that is not what it seems to be to the majority of people. Only a small inside group knows what it's all about. It's conducted for the benefit of the very few at the expense of the very many. Out of war, a few people make huge fortunes. Butler confessed that during his decades of service in the United States Marine Corps, I helped Mexico, especially Tampico, save for American oil interests. In 1914, I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for the National City Bank boys to collect revenues in. I helped in the raping of half a dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. The record of racketeering is long. I helped purify Nicaragua for the International Banking House of Brown Brothers in 1909 to 1912, where have I heard of that name before? I don't know. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for American sugar interests in 1916. In China, I helped see to it that Standard Oil went its way unmolested. Looking back on it, I might have given Al Capone a few hints. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing that forever. And if it wasn't for this one guy writing about it, this one very decorated man who pull up the thing about the coup where they tried to enlist him, which is part of the reason why I'm sure he wrote this. It's
Right.
like he was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Right.
Like you guys want to take over the United States government with force? Now imagine if they were successful. Imagine if a military coup really did work in like 1930 or whatever it was. How fucked we would be now.
I don't know. It'd be
Like it's interesting how history pivots oftentimes on like one or two crucial figures.
right.
And
Right.
this guy saying no to this, who knows what would have happened if he said yes?
Is that the premise of Man in the High Castle, Philip K. Dick?
Is it?
I don't know. I should read more, Joe.
The business plot, is that what we're talking about? Not the coup?
The coup. We're talking about the coup.
I know nothing in his Wikipedia says coup, but business plot comes up at the end.
What is the business plot?
That's what I think he was talking about. This was all like the military-industrial complex stuff before it started.
Right, but wasn't there a thing where they tried to enlist him to do something?
I mean, this was after he was retired. He's gone on anti-war lectures.
It
just
might have
goes
been.
into his whole career here, and coup wasn't like a highlighted paragraph.
Is that just in Wikipedia, though? Can you just see if there's anything about it online? Because it might not be something that Wikipedia would put in.
He had a whole bunch of nicknames.
Did he?
Did you see that whole list of nicknames?
Well, you kill a lot of folks. You get a lot of nicknames.
Gee whiz.
It's so weird to see when you think about going. What's that, Jen?
Then business plot pops up.
People used to have fun
The
nicknames.
business plot.
So it's a business plot. So it's not necessarily like a military coup. Like, what was the actual plot?
The Wall Street Putsch.
Political conspiracy in 1933, the United States to overthrow. Oh, this it is. Overthrow the government of the president Franklin D. Roosevelt, and install Smedley Butler as dictator. Butler, retired Marine Corps Major General, testified under oath that wealthy businessmen were plotting to create a fascist veterans organization with him as its leader and use it as a coup d'etat to overthrow Roosevelt. In 1934, Butler testified under oath before the United States House of Representatives Special Committee on Un-American Activities on these revelations. Although no one was prosecuted, the congressional no one was prosecuted. You would think that might put you in jail. You're trying to overthrow the fucking government.
These folks get away with it.
But it's kind of crazy. No one was prosecuted, although no one was prosecuted. The Congressional Committee final report said there's no question these attempts were discussed, were planned, and might have been placed in execution when and if the financial backers deemed it expedient. You know, it's funny that no one was prosecuted, but if you did insider trading, you go straight to the pokey. Martha Stewart.
Right.
No one was prosecuted for that. They put Martha Stewart in jail for lying to the cops.
But not. But there's actual, there's Congress folks that do it all the time. They made an example out of Martha Stewart, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's Nancy Pelosi's now estimated to be worth $400 million. And that she's just
what a great job.
It's a great job.
What a great job to have. I should have gone into.
Well, it makes you wonder, when you have $400 million and you're 82 years old, shouldn't you be like going on cruises and just like enjoying your time off? And why are you still working? What are you doing?
Lust for power.
No, I really care about
these people are clinging with their dying breath to every ounce of power.
No, I care. I care about the American people.
Who really genuinely believes that anybody cares about us?
Oh, there's some lobotomized, no pun intended, suckers out there.
No.
There's some suckers out there. And then there's a lot of bots. There's a lot of people that aren't real people that are
like
commenting on both sides of the issue.
Like on the internet, yeah.
On both sides of it. Stay out of the comments, kids. Stay out of commentary because it's not real. If you're interacting with narratives that are propped up. Might be propped up by AI, might be propped up by bad state actors. There's a lot going on, folks. And it's not all people talking about things, and that should be illegal.
Are there bot wars now?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Like
There's
my
bots
bots
fighting against bots. Yeah,
versus your bots.
100%. It's probably a giant chunk of the internet.
Are they actual bots, or are they like people in a call center?
Both things. Both things are real. There's AI for sure that people are running programs that are saying certain things, but there's also people that get hired to do it.
Yeah.
There's these pro-American sites, and then people have done like an IP trace, and they find out these people are in fucking Karachi. They're in fucking Pakistan, and it's they're in India, they're in China. It's like, who knows who's doing it and why they're doing it. But there's a bunch of foreign countries that would have a vested interest in keeping America very unstable. It's really good to have us at each other's throats politically. Yeah. That's good for them. It's good to crush our faith in democracy and make people consider communism. And it gets really weird, when you have a bunch of people that are throwing a bunch of opinions into any sort of like real important discussion about civilization, and you realize like, oh my God, 80% of the people talking aren't just people.
Yeah.
They're either being hired to do this, or it's AI, or they're bots.
It seems to be like manufactured chaos in order to take the air out of the room, to suffocate information. And
Also to make laws so they can clamp down on dissent.
And
So
yeah.
the more you can have chaos online, the more it becomes unmanageable, the more you have to manage it.
Right.
Right? And the more people ask you to come in and save them. Please save us. Save us from this. There should be laws.
I mean, that's the
hate speech. That shouldn't be legal.
That's kind of the idea behind like the false flag,
100%.
like gun
Exactly.
things, or like I don't know. I think
Well, that's what got us into Vietnam.
I think of like Vegas.
Yeah.
Like the Mandalay Bay thing. Like there's a
The
lot
Vegas
of
one's
theories
weird.
behind
That's a
that
weird
one.
one. That's a weird one.
That one's that's gonna bother me forever. Because that one actually happened while I was awake and paying attention, and it just nothing lines up with it.
You weren't there, were
Yeah.
you? Were you in Vegas at the time?
No.
No.
I was sitting in Nashville, but I
Yeah.
just meant I was paying attention.
Yeah. That was a crazy one. And there's multiple reports of more than one person shooting. And then there was like, how did he get 400 pounds of equipment into his room without anybody noticing it?
Yeah.
That seems crazy. Like, you got a rifle case is a very distinctive kind of case. Like, I'm assuming he's carrying, like, some kind of Pelican box. So, like, some snap-down box. Like, that's a pretty big box, man. If you got a bunch of those and you're bringing them in along with boxes of ammunition, like, how much does that weigh? How strong are you? How, like, if you had to carry 400 pounds of shit into a hotel room, that would take a long time.
That dude wasn't doing all of it.
That's what I'm saying.
And I mean, didn't like the security guard witness go on Ellen to explain it?
Did they?
Yes, was his name Jesus? Yep. Yeah, Campos.
Jamie's all over this. Are
Okay.
you all over
Hey,
this one?
Jamie.
I've been all over this from the jump.
Oh, okay. There's a
See
few.
it?
This is
Yeah.
the one. It's one of the ones I know a lot of.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
about.
speak
Okay.
to us, young Jamie.
Well,
Speak to us.
You haven't said anything wrong yet, but there's
I'll
a
get
really
there.
good website someone put together called like the Las Vegas Shooting Map.com. And they've got tracked little, it's a Google map, but there's like little dots for YouTube videos, cell phone footage, 911 recordings, photos. It's a complete timeline from the time before the concert started to like 5 days after.
What is the best theory about why that happened?
Conspiracy or real?
Was
But
it?
conspiracy? Give me the juiciest one
The
first.
conspiracy that you read online, like especially on a place like X.com, would be that there was a. Let me try to word this right. I think they were worried about the Saudi family or whoever's in control in Saudi Arabia was worried about MBS taking over, and there was an event happening that he was in Vegas for, and they tried to use this chaos to take him out.
Whoa.
He found out about it, and then this leads to this event happening the next month in November, where he got all the families to come to Four Seasons. There was like kidnappings and extortions and all sorts of money. Like he basically was pissed that he found out about it.
Oh, that happened a month later?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like people have heard about that event happening, but tying it to the Las Vegas shooting, not a lot of people have done. I just read about that part recently.
Holy
Okay.
shit, dude.
But there's not a lot of proof of any of that happening, but that's the conspiracy.
I thought it was like metal detectors in the casinos.
That's part of it. People thought that they were trying to create an event so people would have to get body scanned in every casino.
Because there were people in the state government that had stock in these
Sure.
security systems.
Oh, God.
It's diabolical.
God, I hope that's not true.
But there was apparently there's shells that were found in places that were outside of that hotel room.
Outside of the hotel room?
Yeah, or out away from those windows. Some people think that the second window was broken after the fact.
That one don't make no sense. That's just
And he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound,
Supposedly,
allegedly, right?
yes, yeah.
yeah. That's
So is the idea that he's a patsy?
I guess if you're gonna follow that conspiracy I just laid out, then 100% you'd have to be. But again, there's not a ton of evidence for that one. There's some, but not a ton.
yeah.
Wow.
mysteries,
What's the other theories?
enigmas.
Sort of what he was getting into, where it's like there was this like tie-in to just get body scanners everywhere.
That one makes
Then
sense.
the funnest one I'll show you a picture of. You know how there's like a playing deck of cards that's got like every conspiracy from like the last 20 years in it. Have
There
you ever
is?
seen that going around?
No. No.
There's like the Twin Towers are in one picture, and the one with Vegas, I'll show you. It's very Sam Tripoli pointed this out to me the other day. I'll show you.
You ever get into the Oklahoma City bombing?
I'm familiar.
That one.
I'm familiar.
That one gets real.
We got
weird.
Ruby Ridge, Waco, Tim doing his thing, possibly with a team.
Yeah, those are all big. But what I'm getting at, what is this?
This is the card, the playing deck cards. This is
tarot.
the Vegas card. It's got this. It says that
Is
there's.
that a tattoo?
This is Jason Aldean's tattoo, who was the guy on stage when the shooting started.
What?
Just so happens to be it's a jack and an ace. Now that's a coincidence, but that's a crazy coincidence. It's like how that could have been planned. Don't know.
No,
Yeah, but that's his fucking name,
I
bro.
know.
Jason Aldean. That's ridiculous.
that's-
That's a crazy connection to make. His literal name is Jason Aldean.
Oh.
J-A.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a microphone and a jack and an ace
Yeah. That
with a J and an A on
that's
it.
wild. So
That's
I don't-
silly.
yeah.
That's silly. that one needs to be shut up.
That's outrageous.
Yeah. But it's just when you think that someone might have done something like that, someone might do a mass shooting so they could take out one dude, like blame it
Yeah.
on this guy. Like how much planning has to be involved in that? And then like how do you get the patsy? You get this guy who's just like a degenerate gambler. That's what he was, right? It was just a poker
they
player,
said
right?
He made a bunch of money playing video poker, which is like, if you make that much money playing video poker, they're not gonna
It's
let
not
you keep
even
playing.
real.
Really?
Well, Dana made money playing blackjack, and they're like, you can't play here anymore. Like if you're good and you're making money, they say we don't want you to do that. That's
Yeah, they
not-
booted Dana out of
not our
the
business.
Palms back in the day. That's what it was with the Palms, I think.
But with like, I don't know. OKC, was that to destroy information? Is that the conspiracy? There, that like in the Oklahoma City
Oh,
bombing,
no.
there was
Well,
a bunch
maybe.
of info in the building that they wanted.
Perhaps.
Because I know some of Bill Clinton's stuff maybe disappeared.
I don't know the specifics
Maybe
on that, but
regarding
what I was
Whitewater.
getting at was the specifics of the bomb itself. That a fertilizer bomb would not be able to do that kind of destruction, and that destruction was the way a bomb generally works. Like it goes from this is where the bomb detonates, and then all the energy goes outward, right? If you're parked right in front of a building, how does the building blow outward this way? And why were there all these reports of the FBI and bomb units pulling additional undetonated bombs from the building?
Right. Well,
Like, look at how the building blew out.
I know that's
It's kind of crazy.
absolute devastation.
I mean, but it really depends entirely on the size of the bomb, right? So if you have a bomb, like see where that blue area is? Like that's where supposedly I think where the bomb went off. If you have an immense bomb that is right there and it just blows up and that's the force of it all around like in a sort of conical effect, that kind of makes sense. But a lot of people think that the amount of power that you would generate from a fertilizer bomb is not really capable of doing that kind of damage. And Alex Jones, who was the first person that I ever heard talk about this, he played all these news reports of them talking about finding additional bombs.
Right.
Like it was on the news, so they were talking about the FBI or whoever it was.
Was the ATF in that building?
I believe something
Then
like that.
maybe they would have had
some information. Well,
Well,
also
I mean,
they changed some of the laws after
maybe they
that
would've-
bombing.
Some explosives could have been in their possession, even or something.
Oh, that like it blew up because of the other thing blowing up.
I mean,
Perhaps, but they didn't say that. And
Yeah.
it's pretty odd that the ATF offices would have just bombs laying around.
yeah,
Like,
you're,
that doesn't really make any sense. Like, why do you guys have bombs in the break
well,
room?
they're studying.
Yeah, we're studying actual live bombs. I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense. They're pretty good about taking care of bombs. But see if you can find anything about reports of additional bombs from Oklahoma City.
They were looking for a second person for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were looking for a second person too.
Right.
But I mean, there's also this problem with the fog of eyewitness accounts and everything after a catastrophe. Like, one thing that happens about events is no one really like, if you're there and some fucking thing blows up, it's entirely dependent upon your makeup whether or not you can even objectively recall exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Depending upon like how freaked out you are by this and how used to being freaked out you are.
Right.
Like, maybe you're a veteran, maybe you've served overseas, and like you can actually give an accurate account of this because you've been around crazy shit. But if you haven't, it's very likely that, you know, people are very confused afterwards.
I would have been totally shook.
No credible evidence of additional bombs being found. Initial confusion. This is AI over you. AI. In the immediate aftermath of the AI, by the way, that still thinks the COVID vaccine saved millions of lives. In the immediate aftermath of the bombing, some news reports and individuals speculated about multiple explosions. Okay, news reports. Why would they say that if there was no reason to say that? Conflicting reports. Some theories suggested a second, even third bomb were involved, citing nearby seismograph readings and witness accounts.
Seismograph.
So there was multiple seismograph readings. Expert disagreement. Oh, I love when they call in the experts. However, experts, including physicists and engineers that are not named, stated that the second tremor recorded by the seismographs was likely caused by the building's collapse, not another bomb. Go to sleep, America. Conspiracy theories. Some conspiracy theorists continued to promote the idea of additional bombs, even though there was news reports, often citing discrepancies in the observed damage or expert opinions. Yeah, the observed damage is kind of crazy. The damage is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It looks like it's blown out. You know?
That's a huge demo job, man.
Well, it's just weird. You know, it's his Timothy McVeigh's reason for doing it. All of it is weird.
Right.
Like,
It was revenge for the government's intervention with Ruby Ridge and the Waco.
Right.
So he was going to take on the...
I mean, how many of these extremist organizations get infiltrated by the government when they find some suckers?
Well, didn't they find like the folks who were going to kidnap the governor or something? It was just like, wasn't it all the gov? Like,
Yeah. It was 12 out of 14 people were government agents.
Oh. So then who?
And then those two guys went to jail.
So the two that weren't?
Yeah, exactly. And then the two that weren't, it wasn't even their idea. They were like dorks that were LARPing.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, man, we're going to blow up the government.
Right,
You know, They're
right.
fucking losers. They wanted friends. You know, they wanted
Right.
friends, and they found friends in these extremists. And they thought that these guys, you know, they fucking meet up and talk about kidnapping the governor. Like, they thought it was all bullshit. Those guys literally said they thought we were never going to do this.
Yeah.
And then the feds come knocking on their door. Well, one of the wildest ones, they radicalized this young guy. He was 19 years old. I believe it was in Dallas. They radicalized him, and then they gave him a bomb that was fake, and then gave him a cell phone to detonate the bomb. And then when he tried to use the cell phone to detonate the bomb, they arrested him. Because even though it was fake, even though it didn't work, even though they gave it to him, even though they talked him into doing it, they arrested him for terrorism because he was willing to listen to them. Which is crazy.
Why do you do that?
Well, also, you're doing it to a young guy who probably, like, this is the first time in his life he felt like he had any purpose. Like, you've mind-fucked him into believing that he's doing this for a greater good. You know, you're mind-fucking him to telling him that, like, you know, he's going to put a dent in the great Satan by detonating this bomb, and you're going to go down in history, you're going to be huge, and he's just a dumb guy. Just a dumb dude who they talk into it, and then they arrest him. Like, we stop terrorism.
Right.
You fucking made it, bitch.
Yeah,
you made it.
You
and
make
then
the problem, fix the problem. It's kind of like the pharmaceutical industry or something.
Well, it's a pattern.
Yeah.
It's a pattern but it's just a weird one that we tolerate under the rule of law. Like, that seems pretty crazy that you guys made a plot to kidnap the governor. You got 12 out of 14 of the people who were involved were working with the government. And then it should be like, well, okay, whose idea was it? It was Mike's idea. He was the first one to say, Mike, you work for the government. This is crazy, Mike. You can't arrest Tom because it was your idea, Mike. You fucking asshole. But yeah. But I was working for the government. I mean, it's like, I'm fine, right?
Right.
And then they all just disappear. Nobody hears them. Nobody knows their name. Nobody knows who they are. They're probably doing it right now somewhere else.
They go into the private sector. They're with, I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows?
Over with
I mean, who knows who was instructing them to do what? Sure. Who knows who was instructing them to do what they were doing in the first place? Like, why did you guys decide that you're going to kidnap the governor? Is there higher-ups that told you this is a good idea to plot this? Like, what are we trying to do?
I just wonder how much within even these buildings, like, what's the communication like in a huge organization like the FBI or something? Are there people over on floor 2 that have no idea what's going on floor 4?
100%. 100%.
And
yeah, 100%.
Just pockets of intelligence, little microcosms of people work,
Well, talking to people that actually work in the government, they'll tell you there are people that are in charge of each individual office, and they're like a czar of this office. Right. You got to get through them, and they can put the kibosh on anything you're trying to do, and they're hiding information from the rest of the office, hiding information from other agencies.
And
when I was a kid, I dated this girl who worked for the government, and one of her jobs was, this was like really the very beginning of computers. So 91 maybe, somewhere around then, maybe 92. And her job was to help distribute information. Say if the Navy did a study, that the Army would have access to it. So it was all on a database.
Okay.
And so this was like really, really early on.
Right.
Because they didn't share information with each other.
But they still don't share information.
No, they're in competition with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them don't like each other.
Yeah.
Like there's agencies that don't let those fucking pussies over at the CIA and those faggots over at the FBI. Like there's like a lot of that stupid shit that goes on. There's a lot of that stupid shit that goes on, just like there's people that root for the fucking Dolphins and other people root for the Raiders. People get tribal. People get really weird, man. They get tribal with every damn thing that they do. Every damn thing that they do. And then it's us against them. And, Xerox is going to take over the copying world. Fuck all those other pussies.
It's like, that as crazy. Above, so below. Man, the patterns go down forever. Yeah.
Well, we have the patterns of territorial apes. That's the problem. We have the consistent patterns of territorial apes. And those patterns find their way into everything. Yeah. They find their way into fucking poetry slams.
I mean, it's music.
Yeah.
Music's like that.
Oh, for sure, right?
Yeah, I'm sure comedy's like that.
It is to some extent, yeah. Yeah, and in certain circles it is. In certain circles it's not. But it's like that with everything. Everyone is fighting for dominance.
Yeah.
In this really gross, weird way. And I think it's just our genetics. I think it's the pattern of how we got here for the first place and how the human reward systems are all set up. They're set up to try to conquer things, and whether you're conquering video game development or fucking you're making the best folding phone, it's like we're gonna kick ass over Google. Like everybody has their own little thing, their little realm they're trying to conquer.
Right, and it feels great.
No, I don't think it does.
You don't think it feels great to kick ass at something?
Well,
I mean, you want I think
certainly does.
The pursuit of excellence is like the most joy-rendering thing that there is.
That aspect of it, but the aspect of crushing your enemies, I wonder how much fun.
Well,
that
you
is.
don't have to have, like I don't. This is the thing is like playing guitar or something. I don't have an enemy.
But you're an artist. You're not a corporation.
I just
right?
I'm a corporation.
Are you an LLC yet? Did you sign up for the devil's deal?
What is
limited liability corporation? A lot of people do. So
I don't have a record deal. If that's what you're saying.
No. When you start making money, they tell you to form an LLC.
What is it gonna do?
It's like you become like a little corporation, and that way you pay yourself from the corporation. You can lease a car from the corporation.
That'd be kind of cool.
You probably have to do that someday. eventually.
I'll be in a corporation.
Maybe after this podcast, you'll have to do that.
I'll be.
Call it bottomless wells.
That's the most fun, and it does seem like it is what. Anytime you're in a hard place or anything like that mentally, or like the best way out is like find something to try to get good at, or try some, and then try your best at it.
Yeah,
and it just seems innate.
I think so.
Like,
I think
no matter what it is.
Right, but the problem is if that thing is making money, then it gets weird, right? Like if your whole thing you're good at and you try to get better at is just making money, that's when things get really squirrely. Because the same thing that makes you really good at writing songs could make another person like really good at being a psychopath. Because the best way to make money is to be completely feelingless and not give a shit about who this is going to impact, and ship all those jobs overseas. Look how much money we're going to make. Do this to that. Fuck all the... Right. Listen, if we don't take care of this environmental pollutant and we just like let it leak out, we save X amount of money. Okay?
Right.
Do that.
Right.
And then that's where things get weird. You figure out the best way to make money. Like you're really good at making money, and that becomes your creativity. You get really creative about moving around the law in order to make money. You get really creative about how you establish relationships with people. How you can, make sure that laws are passed that favor what you're doing. And
that's a strange art.
Very weird art. That's a dark art.
That is.
Yeah,
that is the dark art.
It's a dark art.
Snape never taught about that one, dog.
Well, it's not a creative art, but it is creative in some ways. It taps into that same thing, but in a very negative way. Maybe positive for that person's bank account, but negative in terms of its impact.
But do they even care about their bank account at that point? Like, what is it to them? It's just something totally different.
That's the world they live in, man. Like, if you're a fucking prison warden, the world you live in is like, these are the rules in order to stay alive as a prison warden. This is what you're going to do. Yeah. If you're a prison guard, if you're on the floor with all these inmates, this is what you do to stay alive. This is what you do to maintain order. This is what you do to make sure people listen and fall in line. Like that, once you're there, you have to do that, right? Like if you're there, if you're a prison guard, this is what you do. And I think if you are a guy who is in charge of like you're an economic hitman, like John Perkins. You know that? You ever read that book? What they do is they would give enormous loans to countries that definitely couldn't fucking pay it off, and then you come in and start extracting resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, China does that. The United States does that. Many countries have been involved in that kind of shit, and they're creative in that way.
Are there NGOs doing that?
I'm sure.
Like, is that what?
I'm sure.
Is that what? Billy G's up to, or
Billy G?
Yeah, Microsoft.
G? Oh,
like.
Well, he's involved in a lot of the.
Do you give a big loan, or give a big favor out, and then just take whatever you want from them after that? Because everyone's got notes once they.
Yeah, well, it's called Philanthro-capitalism, and that being a philanthropist is actually very profitable, which is weird.
No,
like Bill Gates made hundreds of millions of dollars off of the pandemic.
Yeah,
from vaccines.
Dude, philanthropy, it's far out. I have a song about philanthropy.
Do you?
It's called Philanthropist.
Let's hear it. Put it on there. Put it. Jamie will find it. Like real true philanthropy when you're giving money away because you're just a kind person is wonderful. It's beautiful. I like it when it's done silently.
That's the only way to properly do it, right?
Here we go.
When I was just a boy, my mama asked me this. She said, son, what do you want to be? I said, a big philanthropist with date as my oil. And illness is my business. With guns as my retirement. And war as my mistress. I'm gonna be an oligarch with a whole bunch of rockets. I'd get them two sides fighting, and I'd empty both of their pockets. And if I got bored or money weary, I'd try my hand in dabbling in social engineer, and I'm gonna be a billionaire with a big foundation. We used to rule in shadows, but I'd come right out and I'd rule the nation. I'm gonna do all my own laundry in a third world nation state. Experiment with the locals like some philanthropic saint, and I never make a cure. Not get you a treatment plan. You can die in slow installments, and I'll bleed you while I can. And I'll travel around the planet in a big old mystery jet. What I did would be my business, and what you did I would collect. If I was a philanthropist, just run around philanthropist. Not a whole lot of help just for myself, but I gotta make it look convincing.
You nailed it. That's Philanthro-capitalism right there,
dude.
In a song.
It's far out.
That's a great song.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be allowed.
It shouldn't be allowed. Well, it shouldn't be that easy to trick people.
Who believes it? That's what I'm like. Who in the hell would think that this is good? Things happen because of it, but more bad things happen than good a lot of the time. And you're holding an entire nation hostage, or an entire group of people hostage, by lending them money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not freedom.
No.
You gotta be free.
Yeah, it's real weird. Because there's certain people that are like genuine philanthropists, but even them, when you're donating money to specific organizations, and you find out that most of their money goes to overhead,
right?
Most of their money goes to employee salaries, which are ridiculously high,
right?
And you go, oh, this is a scam. This is clearly a scam. You aren't kind people trying to fix the world. You're profiting off of this idea of being a kind person that wants to fix the world. And you're doing a little bit of help. You're doing about 10% of help, maybe 20% of help, maybe even 30% for a good organization. But the reality is, it's about you.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. You know, imagine if just you said, hey, man, my friend's sick. Mm-hmm. Do you think you could donate some money to my friend? You know, because he doesn't have any health insurance. And we were like, yeah, man, what do we got to do? And then everybody gives you money, and then you take 70% of it. And we go, hey, dude, what the fuck?
You get
and
strung up.
You're like, hey, man, I worked to get that money for him.
Yeah.
I had to call you guys. I put in the time. I need some of that money. I need 70% of that money. You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Your friends would never talk to you again.
No.
Everybody would hate you. But meanwhile, if you do this for an NGO, you get celebrated.
Right. Insane.
It's
Absolutely
real.
Insane.
It is insane, and it's real. The weirdest thing about it is this isn't a conspiracy theory. This is real.
No.
This is really how most of them operate. Some of it's 90%. Some of them it's 90-10.
Yeah.
There's good ones out there, though. There's really good ones there where most of the money goes to the charity, and that's awesome. There's real people out there that are really kind people that are genuine philanthropists, and most of them live very humble lives.
Right.
Because you don't make $1 million a year if you're doing it right.
Right.
You just don't.
Right.
You know? You just don't. And if you are making $1 million a year, chances are you might be a vampire.
Yeah. What do you... I mean... That guy was all over the flight logs and everything.
Which guy was? Which guy?
Gates.
Oh yeah.
All tangled up in all sorts of stuff, man.
Yeah. He was tangled up in all sorts of stuff after that guy went to jail. Mm-hmm. After he went to jail and came out the first time.
Yeah.
Gates was hanging with him still.
Yeah.
As were many people. It's real weird stuff, man. It's real weird. Because it seems that it's like once you develop a network of people that trust a person like that and like, come hang out with him, he's cool. You know, it's a good place to go and get your freak on. Like, because if you're a really rich, like, international businessman and everybody knows who you are, like a Bill Gates type character, you can't just go get some head. Like, what do you do? How do you go get your fuck on? You know, what do you do?
Is that what Jeff was?
I don't know.
Was he the fixer in that?
I would just be speculating. I would just be speculating. But
Yeah.
a good friend of mine who's very intelligent said this to me. He said, there's people that want certain experiences, and there's people that provide these powerful people with experiences. And that's how they fit into the social structure. They're there to help. They can keep their mouth shut, and they help people get these experiences.
Right.
And then there's probably some sort of a wild rush of being naughty and doing things you're not supposed to be doing. We can get away with it because we're worth $100 billion or whatever the fuck they're worth.
They're trying very hard to get away with this one. I don't know if the people are going to forget.
People are never going to forget. The
what
problem
is
is,
going on.
do we have any power? What do we do? What do you do? You definitely can change the way you vote, like if it comes up again. But the problem is, this is a bipartisan
It's
issue.
a bipartisan. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard as a Democratic hoax. That's
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
but
Well, it's certainly not a hoax if you go to jail. Certainly not a hoax if Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail too. So like she's in jail for sex trafficking. Excuse me, she's in jail for sex trafficking. But the question is to who? Who's she in? Who? You have to be sex trafficking to somebody in order to go to jail, right?
Yeah.
So who? How's that work? She's been in jail for years. So like, how's that work?
Is she looking at a pardon? Are they gonna?
I don't know, but they just moved her to another prison.
They moved.
It's supposed to be a nice prison, as far as prisons
They
go.
move her to kill her.
Could be. But why would you waste the money to move someone if you wanted to kill them? I'm sure they could kill her pretty easy.
I don't know.
But the question is, does she have dead woman switches? You know what I mean?
What's
what a dead man switch is?
What, like
when
a tripwire?
Yeah, like if I die, I want you to do this for me. And then whether it's in Israel, whether it's in Canada, whoever the fuck the person is that you have that you give this information to,
Yeah.
you just say, if anything happens to me, let this loose. And then you tell them, like, look, I have this, that, this, and that. I have all these tapes. I have all these videos. And if anything happens to me, all this goes online. So leave me alone.
If that were true.
That's a real thing that people do. It's called a dead man switch.
Dead man switch.
Yeah. That's how people maintain life. If you have information that's really sensitive, they have to trust you. If someone trusts you to not tell something that can ruin their empire of hundreds of billions of dollars and put them in jail possibly, they have to trust you. They're not going to trust you. They don't trust you. But if they know that if you tell, they'll kill you, and then they know that if they kill you, you have the dead man switch. Okay. We got a stalemate.
So like,
let that motherfucker live.
This is mutually assured destruction.
Exactly.
Some kind of nuclear standoff. With
they're pointing missiles at each other. Information missiles at each other. It's dark, dude. But it makes for a good spy novel. If just America, the way it actually really works, would be a crazy novel. You'd be like, this is nuts.
Like a Tom Wolfe, something or another.
Yeah.
You know?
Just with if you actually knew the actual facts, I bet it would be quite fascinating.
Yeah.
Like we have these narratives that we assume are real about history. And I bet a lot of them are full of shit too, Bill Murray was on the podcast. It's really interesting. And he read Bob Woodward's story about his good friend John Belushi.
Right.
So he said, I read 5 pages of it. I was like, oh my God, they framed Nixon.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, I mean, isn't Bob Woodward, he's known to have been hired, or at least worked with CIA and
he was an intelligence agent.
Yeah, he's an intelligent, and he builds the narratives.
It was also his first job as a journalist.
Yeah.
Which is how? How did the senior journalist not get that job? You're literally going to take down a president.
I didn't see that aspect of it in All the President's Men. Who was that? Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get that. You don't get that.
Because that was before the internet. And
Yeah.
like they could get away with a movie like that.
I kind of wonder if they. Listen, I'm sure this. I don't know anything about. Do you know Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks, the actor?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know him personally. No.
Okay. I just wonder if every once in a while, when the government needs to explain something to the public in a way that puts us in the best light. If they commission a movie through Hollywood and stick Tom Hanks in it, man, he's just explained so much to us over the years. With Charlie Wilson's War, it's like, here's how the
Saving Private Ryan.
That's how this goes. You know, Forrest Gump is kind of a nostalgia fest about the, you know, Vietnam War. It kind of makes light of it. You know, the Polar Express. I actually don't know about the Polar Express.
Animated movie. Well, my friend Sam was telling me, friend Sam Tripoli was telling me that, and I had heard this, that during World War I, they had a problem that soldiers were not shooting at the enemy. They didn't want to kill them. They didn't want to be there, and so they were firing their guns but not even aiming them at the enemy.
Right.
So to combat this, they started making movies. And then in the movies, these war movies, the soldiers would shoot the enemy, and they were like really heroes. And so then in World War II, people were much more willing to shoot the enemy.
Gee.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like, so the intelligence communities have been deeply involved in movie making from the very beginning. Because back then, movies were the most powerful narrative in all of society.
Right.
And there was no counter narrative, not to speak of. Nothing that went global, or even that was like publicly mass distributed. There was nothing. I mean, you might have people in coffee shops saying, "Hey, man, I read this and this and that," and like, but there were small groups of people, and most people were in the dark.
Even if you had a counter narrative, you could be like Pete Seeger and get like blacklisted in the 50s. You know, a musician.
Or you'd be Smedley Butler.
But right, who was in
the end of his career.
Yeah. It's a wonder he survived his own tell-all there with War as a Racket.
Yeah.
So
it is.
It didn't seem to do a whole lot. Whatever. World War II is just 6 years after.
I know. Crazy. Isn't it crazy though that they made movies about war to encourage people to just shoot the enemy when they see them? Because most people, it's probably so abstract to them. Like, they're from, like, especially if they had just gotten there from Europe, right? So imagine if you're dealing with World War I, like, a lot of those people probably recently arrived in America, right? And then now you're being sent over to France. Now you're being sent over to Germany. Like, you're involved in a fucking war now. You're in a trench war.
Well, I don't. America was really not wanting to get in with World War I anyway.
Right. Yeah.
You know? Was it the Lusitania? Some folks think that even might have been a false.
Do they think that was a false flag? It could have been. Well, I mean, there's a long history of false flags that got us into war. I mean, it goes back to Nero burning Rome, and what they did with the Gulf of Tonkin incident is.
What happened with Nero?
Well, let's go pull that up. Nero was so crazy, dude. You know one of the things Nero did?
What?
He beat his pregnant wife to death. And then he found a slave that looked like his wife, a boy, castrated him, and said that this is my wife, and paraded this person around. Sporos was his name.
French stuff, man.
Yeah, and just fucked this poor dude with no dick that he had his dick cut off, and then passed that guy off to someone else, and that guy eventually wound up committing suicide. Yeah. Yeah. Nero was a complete, total psychopath. So there was this one false flag incident. See if you can find what Nero did. That was also like Hitler. Hitler burned the Reichstag. That was a false flag too. The Gulf of Tonkin one was a crazy one because that was, 67, 68 or something like that?
So we had already been in Vietnam for years at that point.
No, that was they had some limited operations.
Right.
But it wasn't like we were full-scale soldiers invading Vietnam.
Right. Is this precursor to like Tet Offensive or something? Or?
I don't know, but this was the incident that dragged us in. Burning Rome, burning Christians. Year 64. During the Principate of Nero, the night between July 18 and 19, the fire broke out in Rome within 9 days, destroyed or badly damaged a substantial part of the city, leaving many dead or homeless. Rumors circulated the fire had been set by Nero, who it was claimed sought to divert blame from himself by holding responsible a new sect of aggressively proselytizing Jews known as Christians. Wow. Most recent scholarship has rejected the popular view of Nero as an arsonist who fiddled while Rome burned, in quotes. Largely ignored, however, has been the question of whether or not the Christians, generally regarded as innocent scapegoats of Nero, might, in fact, have played some role in the fire.
There's controversy.
Yeah, the chapter considers the problematic nature of Christianity and Rome and Roman attitudes towards Christians in the 1st century CE and suggests, based on this evidence, that Christian involvement is not out of the question. Not out of the question, but the narrative has always been that Nero did it to divert attention.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's like they tried to do that with Operation Northwoods. It's one of the things that Kennedy vetoed. The Joint Chiefs of Staff signed off on an operation to do a false flag event where they were going to blow up a drone jetliner, blame it on Cuba, and they were going to arm Cuban friendlies and attack Guantanamo Bay. And they were doing this so that they could drag us into a war with Cuba. And Kennedy vetoed it. But it was signed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Right.
Like, they're like, sounds good.
Right.
They're fucking smoking shit out.
I mean, is this what
good.
the Bay of Pigs is?
No, the Bay of Pigs is a different thing. The Bay of Pigs is after that. And the Bay of Pigs, the problem with the Bay of Pigs was that they planned it without Kennedy knowing.
The men were already there.
Yeah, and then they had air support, and that was part of their mission, and then Kennedy denied air support. And
So they
then
got slaughtered.
the men on the ground got slaughtered.
Yeah.
And so my friend Evan, who was a ranger, he believes it's very possible that some of the people involved in that might have been involved in the assassination of Kennedy,
Right.
because they had a huge grudge, and these were, hardened assassins.
If that's something that you'd go and mine people out of that operation.
Well, there was a lot of people that hated Kennedy after that.
Yeah.
A lot of people. We don't think about it now because we think of Kennedy as like being loved, but there was people that celebrated when he got murdered.
Gee.
Yeah.
That I can't imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like today. Like if Trump got murdered, there's people that would celebrate. Or if Kamala Harris had gotten murdered on the campaign trail, there's people that would celebrate. There's gross people on both sides of the aisle.
It is. I mean, it's a sign of something's not good when we're celebrating just death.
No.
I feel like.
Well, it's certainly a society that's lost its way.
So.
If that's the only solution is to kill people, or if you don't like how the results turned out, you do everything you can to destroy that person, which I think the most interesting version of that is happening right now in New York City. That Mondani guy who's essentially, like, at the very least a socialist, but kind of leans towards a communist direction.
Right.
Both sides are trying to get rid of that guy. They're like, we can't allow him to be mayor.
Okay.
But the people elected him. He won the Democratic primary, and he's like 44% ahead of everybody else in the process.
So there's still, you gotta kind of fill me in.
So the actual election is not until November, right? So they have the primary first. Yeah. Mondani won, and he won over Andrew Cuomo, who used to be the governor of the state, and everybody thought he was going to win.
Right.
And then people are like, holy shit, this communist guy is going to be the fucking mayor of New York City. Okay. And he's promising to jack up taxes, and he's promising to have like city-funded grocery stores and like a lot of communist ideas. Okay. And so both the right and the left are like, we got to get this guy out of here.
Okay.
There's no way. But it's like, if you believe in the democratic process, like, this is what the people wanted.
Right.
Let's find out if it works.
So then
let's find out if it sucks, if it makes New York City even worse. Well, then in a few years you get to vote again.
Yeah. I was gonna say, how long is mayorship?
I think it's 4 years.
4 years.
Right? Is it a 4-year term for mayor of New York City? It has to be, right? Because in 2 years you're basically just using the time to campaign for your reelection.
Yeah.
Because you'd probably, by the time you got in there, it's like 24 months later you got to do it again.
Right.
Like, you're like, ugh.
So what are the two sides doing to bring him down?
Talk about getting him out of the country. There's people that are talking about, is there a way to expel him from the country?
To revoke his citizenship?
Yeah. There's talk of that.
Huh.
Yeah. People are trying to figure out any way to get rid of this guy.
But he is a citizen. Of
He
course.
is, but he wasn't born in America, which freaks people out. He's a Muslim. He's from Uganda. That's where he's from. He's only been in America for a certain amount of years, and he's only been a citizen, I think, for 7 or 8 years, something like that. And he won. You know, like if you believe in this thing, like that's what people voted for, and you got to do better. That's what
the folks want. That's what the folks want.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of people that live in New York City, that live in any city really, that don't feel like their needs are being met by the government.
Right.
And they don't feel like the government has their best interests. And if some guy comes along with some radical ideas that he says are the solution, well, if the people believe him and it's not true, you've done a terrible job. You've done a terrible job of both distributing information and taking care of these people, because they're looking for any kind of a solution.
Right.
Even a solution that might wind up causing a bunch of corporations to leave the city and a bunch of money to leave the city and a bunch of jobs to leave the city.
Yeah, it doesn't. Things are desperate, right? What the politicians really controlled by like three main things, like special interests, donor class, and multinational corporations. So anybody who looks like they're disentangled from any of those things is looking pretty appealing.
Exactly. That's why he's way ahead. He's ahead by 44%. Everybody
big.
else has like 12%, 20%. I think the highest one other than him in the most recent polling was Cuomo, who's still running somehow or another. I don't know how he's doing it. And it's like, is he an independent? Like, how is Cuomo running? Is that what it is? Yeah. So he's running as an independent because he couldn't win the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
But he's still way behind this guy.
Yeah.
According to polls. But the problem with polls is, of course, who the fuck answers polls? Not you, not
no,
me.
not me. I think polls are just made so that news people have something to talk about.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if they're the ones. Well, they probably are. They probably go to the poll center and they say, "Run this poll because I gotta have something to talk about on Wednesday."
Yeah, you could rig them, right? So you could rig them, like, say if you went to a specific group of people that you knew leaned right, and you started asking them questions on things, or a specific group of people, specific part of the city that you knew was more progressive, you would go there if you wanted to rig polls. And then you push that narrative out. This is how the people feel. It's like, okay, but who's answering? A very small percentage, and mostly dopes. Mostly dopes are answering polls. Sorry if you answer polls. But most of the people have nothing else to do. Because if you call me...
I never met anybody who's answered a poll.
Bingo.
I met a lot of folks. You met a lot of folks.
Exactly.
You ever met anyone who answered a poll?
No, and the presidential polls are the weird ones because sometimes they're wildly wrong, and yet somebody got paid to make those polls.
I think it's the news. I think it's the news. I think the news is an incredibly lucrative business. It's an entertainment business. There's not news every day. There's nothing to, and they got to run 24 hours.
Yeah.
They're making up. They're making up news. They should call it the old, because it's always the same shit happening, man. Like, it's not even.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're getting it either.
It's also a lot. I mean, CNN tried to separate themselves from that when they realized it was like financially kind of devastating to the company to have like really bad editorial comments, which is what they did. So they got rid of all their head newscasters. Okay. Because everybody was terrible and everybody hated them. So they just got rid of most of them.
Right.
And they tried to go objective with the news. But the problem is, like, that way people aren't outraged. And the only way people are going to pay attention now, because you spoiled them. You gave them candy, and now you can't give them filet mignon. They're like, this is bullshit. I want Cheetos. And I want snacks.
Right.
Like, you ruined them. And you gave them this for decades. And so now, if you want your ratings, you have to give them outrage. You have to have a bunch of people yelling at each other on TV so they pay attention.
That, and like I feel like the most like colorful people that they would have had on their things have gone indie now. You know, like Tucker Carlson has his podcast, and like let's see, Candace Owens was with like Daily Wire, and now she's got her own big thing. And there's smaller ones. You got like Breaking Points is one.
You know, the real problem is the left ones never succeed once they're fired. The people that leave CNN, they're always like dismissed.
Well, the talent. I mean, you
If
have
you're
to
a
be
mainstream-
talented to do
Yes.
that. To sit there and look at a camera and just talk for like hours about. You got to be really talented. So
You got to be really dedicated, and you have to understand how people are receiving what you're saying too. And the problem with like a CNN type job is that you're being told what to do. You show up, you read the news as written by these people. You have a teleprompter.
right.
You really can't stray very far from the narrative, and you're allowed to elaborate inside the narrative as long as it fits with what CNN is trying to promote.
Right.
And as soon as you deviate from that, you're cooked. You're gone.
Yeah. So then there's really no there's not much career for you after that.
Yeah, because once you leave, everybody knows you're a propagandist. Like no one's ever going to really truly believe you.
And you weren't coming up with anything yourself. It was all fed to you.
Exactly.
You was drawn.
Exactly. And then we also watched as you did elaborate on your own about whatever you thought about the narrative. You're a dope. You're a dope that's only on television because they put you there. You're not like, you didn't rise through the ranks. Like, this is one of the most interesting people I've ever heard talk on television. Like, no, that's not that's not that at all. Yeah. You're not sincere. What people like is authenticity. You want to know that someone is actually telling you what they think. And you don't get any of that from them. As soon as you don't get that from people, you never want to listen. Whether you believe Tucker Carlson or not, he's being authentic. Like what he's saying, he believes.
Right.
This is who he is, and that's why he works. That's why it works outside of Fox News when he left.
That's those folks, all these folks who do. I think even Bill O'Reilly, after he got like kicked out, from broadcast, he's got his podcasts and stuff. If they really believe their stuff, man.
Yeah, whether they're right or wrong.
Yeah, well, it's not about that. I feel like the public has to understand that at the end of the day, these guys are, whether they believe it or not, this is entertainment. These guys are entertainers.
Yes.
Like, this isn't the new. They're telling you stuff. They're feeding it to you, and you gotta take things with a big ass grain of salt because these are entertainers.
Well, there's definitely that aspect of it. And if you're not entertaining, you're going to get removed from your job, and you're going to get replaced by someone who's better at your job.
Yeah.
Or hotter. Someone who's got a nice rack and a short skirt and who's really good at talking. Like, wow, I just want to watch her talk.
I guess that's for the cable folks or something.
Yeah, I mean that's part of the gig, right? Like, how many of those ladies on Fox News just look hot as the sun? While they're telling you whatever the fuck they're supposed to be telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a special kind of hot, too. That, like, Ice Queen hot. That's that Republican, like, hard-nosed hot.
I don't get it.
That's a special kind of hot.
I don't get it, man. That's the cheapest. That's the cheapest thing they can pull over on the news stations is to have sex appeal.
Yeah, but they've always that's how they sell cars. That's how they sell everything. People use that for everything because we're dumb.
I'm optimistic, man.
I am too.
think we're gonna wake up. We're gonna say, I don't care what the hot lady on Fox says. They're murdering people.
Yeah, well, yes.
Or
I'm optimistic too, and I think you're right. I think we are doing that right now.
So.
And I think, believe it or not, your songs are a part of that. It's, whatever percentage you reach, it's not zero. There's people that you reach, like that United Health. How many views did that get, all told?
I don't know.
It has to be millions.
It got a lot of looks.
Millions and millions and millions. I know. I sent it to a lot of people.
The tunes get passed around. Some of them get passed around.
Did I repost that? I reposted it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. If I repost it, I can find out how many people just saw the one that I reposted.
There'll be a lot.
It resonates, man. It's like people are. Fuck. How long ago was
when
that?
you shared the list, that one blew up too.
Yeah, that was a good one too. How long ago was that? The United Health one.
That was in December.
What is it, Jamie?
You posted it 8 months ago.
8 months ago. All right, this is going to take a while because I'm a
It's
chatty Cathy. I
It
post
was
a lot.
December 15th, 2024.
Oh, that's not that long ago. Okay, so here's Fetterman. That's around that time. Let me find it. There ain't no you. Come on, cocksucker. Where are you?
There's no shortage of stuff to make tunes on.
How do you decide what to make tunes on? Do you just sit and when something like resonates with you and pisses you off?
When something is like, gee, I got something I could say about that. Then that's when you do.
I can't find it,
That's when you
dude.
do it too. But
I know it's on here. How would I search for it?
there's
I don't think you can because you're trying to see the views. You just
Found it. Here we go. Sorry. Okay, view insights. 6,742,803 views. The watch time is 3 years, 104 days, 17 hours, 13 minutes, and 8 seconds.
folks got too much time on their hands.
There's a lot of people on the toilet right now, bro. They need something to listen to. You ever go to the toilet without your phone? It's weird. You just sit there like, wow, I'm alone with my
It's like a
thoughts.
spacewalk without oxygen.
No one knows how to do it anymore. Yeah, it's
Read the Dr. Bronner's bottle.
But the thing is, like, that the 6 million plus people that heard that, like, that affects the narrative. And then, the list one, that affects the narrative. And this one that you did on philanthropy, that affects the narrative. Everyone's like throwing their coins into this big pile and trying to figure this out. And it more so now than I think has ever happened at any time in human history. There's more discussion. It's just we're so upset that it's not fixed. And it's on its way in the right direction, I think. It's just not satisfying the pace in which progress is happening.
Everybody can get on now, too. I mean, like, it's just, like, I prop up my iPhone and, like, play a tune.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can just, like, get phone in front of their face and, like, get it out there,
Yeah, anyone can now, which is great. I mean, it allows guys like you to just all of a sudden have a following.
Yeah.
All you have to do is have some talent, some creativity, some hard work. Bam, there you go. It's kind of cool. I mean, that's the beautiful side of social media.
It's good. There's no rules as far as, especially in the music industry and stuff. There's no rules anymore. Anyone who tells you that they know what to do or that they know what they're doing, they're so full of shit, dog.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And like we want people to know, because we want to ask, like, what could I do to be successful or whatever. Then nobody knows.
No.
Nobody knows, and there's no gatekeepers or anything like that. All you have to do is want to play music. All you have to, and then go and do it on your phone and see if anyone likes you. And if they like you, that's good.
Yeah.
Then everybody will come to you and say, I know how to make this bigger. And they don't know what they're talking about either.
No, they're vampires. And they're trying to take a piece.
Yeah.
They're trying to clamp onto you.
Oh, they come out of the woodwork, dog.
Yeah. Have you had people offer you a bunch of money?
Not a bunch,
a
but they'll offer you a little for a lot, you know?
A little for a lot.
Yeah.
They want your future, right?
Yeah, they'll go, there are all sorts of folks in the early days coming through labels and stuff going, we'll give you 10 grand for like 30 songs or something like that. And it's like, this is insulting.
Yeah.
I don't want any of this. I don't need any of this.
Oliver Anthony was going through that right after Rich Men from Richmond.
Right.
Richmond, north of Richmond. That song came out. Like, they just came after him with all this money.
Oh, they will.
All these all this fucking promises.
They will.
All this money.
They give you so much up front, and you don't even, like, if you don't know, it's just a big ass loan that you're never gonna recoup, and then you're not living off your own dough at that point. You're just living off of borrowed money like everybody else in the States.
And you're attached to them forever.
Yeah.
You're attached to them forever.
They own your masters. You'll never see it back. I mean, I was signed to a label when I was like 22. I've been through all that crap.
How old are you now?
I'm 47.
Are you really? You look great.
No, I'm gonna be 33 this year. But
I believed you. I was like, man, kid's living good.
No, no, I'm just joshing you.
But this is a new time where you really can become hugely successful and get a gigantic following with no one attached to you.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to have all those people they're not going to help you.
No, they don't. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many people wanting to sign off.
And too many people eating at the dinner plate.
And, dude, whenever anybody gives you money, like if the label comes in, let's say he took the deal, or whatever. If Oliver Anthony took the big deal. Then he's got all these people up there in the office with tax write-off MacBooks telling him what to do with his music because they open their wallet. Yeah. And they're going to have to give you notes. Yeah. They're entitled to give you their opinion at that point, and he wouldn't be able to just do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for artists to be able to do whatever the hell they want to do because that's the only way they can be themselves.
Exactly.
And then that's the only way you can be successful is to completely be yourself at all times, 100%. Yeah. Nothing but yourself.
And you see that one thing that does happen when people do take the money is that part goes away. Because even though you think you're kind of sort of being yourself, everybody knows you're not totally. You're not totally being yourself anymore.
And dough will change your life in a way that you might not like be ready for or something. You're gonna think I got this dough now. I can leave this town I don't like, or I can get the house that I was wanting. When it was being in that town and kind of having things. Difficult pressures around you and stuff that was creating these diamonds that was putting you in this situation to make good art and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you take away all your discomfort and then realize you can't make art and you're not happy. Mm-hmm. And then you start getting nostalgic about the good old days when you were broke and shit like that. It's better to just take only what you need.
Well, then there's also the problem once you become successful of worrying about not being successful anymore, about maintaining it.
That's terrifying. Sure,
I got to keep this going. Like I can't fall off.
But if
I can't be less successful. I can't. I used to be poor, and now I've got money. I gotta make sure this doesn't go away.
It's how you measure.
Temper your thoughts, and you measure. You're measured in what you say.
No. Your measure of success is like how much can I be myself, and be happy. Be happy that way. If you can still be 100% yourself all the way to the end of the line, then that's your success.
Yeah.
But
that's a smart way of looking at things. Most people look at things in terms of like, what is the way that's the most profitable? So they'll avoid certain controversies.
But we know that we know even from talking about like people whose art is money, it creates misery to be chasing the bank account, to constantly have the dough, like you create you create bad art. All right. Your albums start to suck. You might be getting in bigger places and stuff like that, but yeah, it's gonna fall off, and when it does, then you have like some existential problems to deal with at that point.
Well, there's always the devil's bargain, right? There's that fucking story is as old as time. That's the Robert Johnson story, right? They thought he sold his soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Van Halen definitely sold his soul to the devil.
You think so?
No, I don't.
Look like Eddie Van Halen, dude.
What?
You look a little like Eddie Van Halen.
I fucking love Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, he's the man.
Oh my god,
he was the man.
He's the Robert Johnson of the late '70s. Him and Angus Young sold his soul.
Isn't it funny though that story was like always around, the story of selling your soul for success.
Yeah,
it's an interesting metaphor.
But it doesn't make any sense as far as like Robert Johnson. He's like he sold his soul, I guess, so he could play and then not be successful in his lifetime and die poor, and then we would all find him later and enjoy.
I think the thought was that he was so much better than everybody else. There's no way he could have gone that far ahead without some help.
Right. He's spooky good.
Yeah.
He's spooky good. He was working in the future.
But there's always guys like that, like Hendrix. If
Yes.
anybody sold their soul, it's Hendrix.
Yeah.
Not that I think he did, but it's like when that guy came around, everybody was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like
in every generation, there's a player, man.
Yep.
And I mean, maybe you could trace the line. Johnson, Hendrix, that's skipping a few.
Mm-hmm.
But to Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, and then you've got like Steve Vai and Joe Satriani and like
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
these virtuosos. Stevie Ray Vaughan, so important to Texas too, Stevie. Joe
We have a
Bonamassa
photo of
be up
him
there.
on stage at our club because, I own this place that used to be a theater that he
Right.
performed at.
Okay.
And there's a photo of him on stage in 1983. So as you're walking to the stage, there's a photo of Stevie Ray Vaughan
Yeah.
on stage in
Man,
the back.
he's so cool. I don't know if you've seen like him at like Austin City Limits, slinging his guitar behind his back. And
Oh, he was
background
the
front,
coolest.
Playing with his teeth. He's got all his scarves and stuff.
I almost got to drive him once when I was driving limos, but he
Really?
wouldn't take limos.
What did he want?
I drove Jeff Beck. He wouldn't take limos.
Jeff Beck. What,
Yeah,
wanted-
he only took cabs.
Okay.
They'd get him a limo. He's like, I'm getting in a cab.
Okay.
He'd hop in a cab and talk to the cab driver. He didn't want to be Mr. Fancy in
Yeah.
a fucking limo.
Yeah.
Isn't that
That's
interesting?
cool. Salt of the earth, dude.
I was pissed though. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I almost got to drive Stevie Ray Vaughan.
There's one of those talents every generation.
But it also shows you how
ahead.
dumb limo drivers are. Like the companies. Like you let a fucking psycho like me, a 21-year-old maniac, drive one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Like I was a bad driver. Like I was a reckless kid. Like all of a sudden I had this job driving limos because I wore a suit. Like you're gonna trust me?
Well,
With Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I mean, safer than the helicopter pilots and stuff.
In the end, yes. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I was a good driver when I was driving limos.
I bet
but
you're
it's
a
kind of
great
crazy.
driver.
Thank you. But it is kind of crazy that they let a 21-year-old me just at the helm of a car with one of the greatest
Yeah.
musicians of all time
No,
in the
it's-
backseat.
It's fun to think back on that stuff. Like when I was 18, I did a radio program for KDYN Real Country Radio every Saturday morning. It was called Dial a Deal, where people call in. It was basically like an on-air Craigslist, But I was alone at the station after football games. Football game would be like Friday night. Go to bed all beat up. Wake up at like 5 a.m. Go into the station, record the obituaries real quick because those are gonna run on Saturday, and then do like an on-air Craigslist radio program, and you're just like 17 years old with the entire radio station to yourself.
Wow.
And I was a total dumbass too. I could have been like, anyway, here's Grand Funk Railroad, but
Did you have a specific list of things that you're supposed to play?
the list was like programmed in, and then you had to record weather. So you would pull up the National Weather Service on the screen, and then you would record yourself doing the weather, saying winds are going to be southeast, northwest, out
Right.
of 15 miles an hour or whatever. You do the obituaries, but no, you didn't actually DJ. It was just like you would hit the space bar, music would start playing, and be like, okay, folks, if you can't tell by the music, I'll go ahead and tell you myself it's time for Dial a Deal. Remember, our numbers up here are 667-4567 or toll free at 888-325-KDYN. That's 888-325-KDYN. Remember, no commercial real estate advertisement. Please limit your calls to once per program. And keep in mind, I can't always keep track of these numbers up here myself, so if you remember them on your end, you're doing me and you a favor. Let's get back to the dialing and a dealing. And then people would call in and they'd be like, I'm looking for my dog. And I'd be like, somebody find that dog. And then, list off their number. Or,
Did you ever play any of your songs?
no, it was a classic country radio station. So I'm up there listening to like Willie, Waylon, Hank Sr., Hank Jr., and then they were playing like some modern, like I remember Brad Paisley was being played on air and he just shredded. But no, I couldn't. I was in a grunge band at the time. I couldn't play.
Were you really?
Yeah, I think I couldn't put. Once I printed out the track listing for the record that I had made, I would make CD records and sell them at school like $5 a pop. I made more money selling records in high school than I ever did as an adult. But I printed out all the song lists. Anyway, the album was called Mom, I'm Gay. And all the, I left a bunch of them, like, at the radio station. I remember the guy who was running it, he came to me, and he was like, did you print these out? Are these yours? And it was just kind of awkward after that. But a small town in Arkansas, kind of far out.
That's funny.
But, you know, folks will let a young person do all kinds of stuff. I guess they see an aptitude in you. They trust you, so they let you drive a limo. You know?
I think they just needed a job. They needed someone to do the job. It's that simple. And most people would only temporarily keep that job, and they would leave.
Right. High turnover.
Yeah.
There's high turnover at the radio station because we weren't making any dough.
Right.
You know.
What year was this?
This was in 1927. No, 2010. 2011.
I used to do a lot of radio when I was young and doing the road. So I'd do like morning radio shows in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was the only way to promote things. Like, say, if you're going to do some gig in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, like, you get on local radio, you tell everybody, drive time radio, so you're on the air at like 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And let everybody know you're going. Radio was a weird thing, man, because it was like a local connection, and all that stuff is kind of gone now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, local connection used to be fun. There was something about listening to the local radio in the morning when you're on your way to work that was kind of cool.
It was great.
Yeah, and you knew that most of your friends were listening to.
Right.
And, you know.
They had a program called, like, I forget what it was, but on every morning they would go through the sponsors of the radio station, which were all local businesses, and they would say, "Here's a cup of coffee for Burns Drug." And it was just like a call out to Burns Pharmacy or whatever, and then you'd hear the sound of a coffee cup. The obituaries ran, you'd listen to them, you'd be like, "Oh, Janine died. Damn it. We gotta go to the memorial." They would tell what the hillbillies, like the mascot was the hillbillies, and like how high school football was doing and stuff like that.
I wonder if anybody's creating that in podcasts. I wonder if there's any good local podcasts that are just about the community that you could like tune into every day. Like, here's the news, you know?
I might have to start one.
Why not?
This local.
Why not?
Anonymous and local.
Yeah, just don't even say it's you. Make up another name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Bob Butts.
And people would go, I know who that is.
No, you don't.
I heard that dude.
I'm not who
You going to do a different voice?
I know you, but you don't know me.
Are you going to change your voice? You should do that.
No, I can't.
Do the local news
I
with
got
one of those things like an FBI informant. We went into the house at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those are spooky.
When they have those people on TV with their face blacked out.
Yeah. Those Vice.
Are you sure that the government was involved? 100%. They had to know. The information came down from the top.
Show their face.
Yeah, show their face. They get them killed.
Oh, man.
How many... Do you do a lot of live gigs?
Yeah.
How many live gigs do you do? Do you do, like, in a week? Do you do a bunch? Like, how do you do it?
No, I just scheduled tours. So, like, tomorrow I'll announce a tour, and I think it's like 20-something dates, and then I'll go out for 2 months and play, you know?
You just play solo? Do you bring someone with you?
No, I bring a band.
Oh, that's cool.
A whole band. And then right now I've just been in festival season, so I just played the Newport Folk Fest. Shout out Newport.
Do you do any of these songs, like United Health?
Yeah.
You do all of them?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because I'm just always putting out albums. Like on Friday I'll put out another record too.
How many albums do you have so far?
Like 5 or 6. I wrote like 100 songs in 24 and just like put them all out. And that's what's great about being indie is like you just put out music as soon as you make it.
Right.
So there's a lot of tunes to choose from, right? Usually, on the set I'll play a lot of these topical ones, and then bring the band up, and then we'll play the other records that I got. But no, I was just at Newport, and then we did Edmonton Folk Fest, and here in a little bit I'll do Farm Aid and Healing Appalachia. Farm Aid was like last year around this time. John Cougar Mellencamp sent me an email and was like, Jesse, I would like you to play at Farm Aid. But it was from a weird email address, and I didn't believe it was him. But it was totally him, just like emailing through his like girlfriend's email or something.
That's hilarious.
And so I showed it to one of my friends. He helps manage, and he was like, I'll vet this out. We'll see if this is legit. And sure enough, it was. Anyway, go down to Farm Aid, and that's like one of the first gigs that I play as this iteration of myself. But got to meet a lot of cool people and get to be friends with a lot of them too. Lucas Nelson is very cool to meet him last year, and now I think we'll be doing a tune together here before too long. But
nice.
I got to meet Charlie over there at Farm Aid. Charlie Crockett.
Oh, Charlie's awesome.
He's super
I
cool.
really enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah, he's great.
He was a great guest. What a wild life that guy's lived.
Yeah.
That's like, that comes out in his music. There's something about like hard living, like living an authentically difficult life that like you hear it in the way they sing.
Yeah.
You hear it. It's real.
Yeah.
You know, like there's like an intangible element to certain songs, you know?
It's how it be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, AI is not going to fix that. They're not going to, you know what I mean? Like AI is not going to overcome that.
No, I don't know.
That's maybe the only thing that AI is not going to overcome.
I would be worried. I don't understand why musicians are.
You know, they're making like. I'm gonna send you something, Jamie. I don't know if you've seen this, where they made a female indie, like emo, whatever it would be, band lady, and it's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like you listen to it and you're like, holy shit! I sent it to Patrick from the Black Keys, Patrick
Carney.
And he was his answer was like, pop music is AI, has been for a while. Good thing I suck at drums and make it human.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this to you, Jamie, because you hear it and you're like, oh my God, this could be a fucking giant hit. And the crazy thing is that AI makes this in seconds.
Right.
I mean, in literal seconds. Like you watch this guy put in the prompts, you watch it make this song, and then you listen to the song and you're like,
right.
Oh my God. And it's better than most of these songs. Like, listen to this.
Create a square avatar of a fictitious female alternative / indie singer and a name for her.
Wow, Sadie Winters.
Sadie Winters, okay. The song
Instantly,
is about
right?
walking away from someone who never really saw her worth. She's just going to create the song lyrics.
Look at that.
Wait,
dude.
how many seconds was that?
That was like about 4 seconds.
Look at that.
That's got a bridge.
Did you even read any of these, or you don't care?
I don't care. Put my lyrics in.
The lyrics that happen in 4 seconds.
Yes. And then hit create. Let's listen.
This is the world premiere.
I was paper, you were scissors, cut me out.
She's a good singer.
Good singer. Ooh, that's nice. Pretty good.
Where are we, Rick? Where have we found ourselves?
How crazy is that?
I mean, it's
Hey,
pretty
look at that.
amazing. Actually.
Jewel even says, Jewel goes, wow, it's a great melody.
Yeah. Listen, artists, everything that can be replaced will be replaced. Okay?
Right.
And pop music was already AI. Patrick has a great point.
Yeah.
There. I don't think artists, what you're making, I don't think you got nothing to worry about.
Well, it's not a worry. I mean, for some people, I'm sure it's a worry, but it also is just a concern that there's a new element of society, that there's creativity is being replaced in at least a form right in front of our eyes. Like, regardless of what you think about pop music, there are some people that are making pop music as a creative endeavor, and that just did it way better than they do, and did it like that.
they'll have to find something else to
They'll have
do.
to find something else to do.
They'll have to
make pottery.
listen to something else in JCPenney. Dog.
Who still goes to JCPenney? I mean, are they still around? Is there a
Yeah.
JCPenney
Yeah.
at where you are?
I go to JCPenney.
I'm not knocking it. I'd go if I needed something. I'm just saying I haven't seen one in a long time.
they're out
You know,
there.
I see Targets everywhere. I don't see JCPenney anywhere.
I'm just the music like that always. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a. Yeah, I feel like I'm in academy or
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
some-
You're buying sneakers somewhere.
They just need something to go in the background, some non-confrontational music to
Yeah.
carry you
Yeah.
through.
But what you said, I think, is right. That if you can be replaced, you will be replaced.
Yeah,
All things that can be replaced will be replaced.
it's how it has always been as long as man has been around. Everything
Mhm.
that can be replaced will be replaced, but there are things that are irreplaceable.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of in every new iteration of technology, we're seeing things get replaced, right?
Right.
Like when I was a kid, VHS was the newest technology. Like, oh my God, you could watch a movie at home.
Yeah.
No one ever thought Blockbuster was ever going to go away. Of course, there's always going to be a Blockbuster. Like,
Right.
every Friday night, everybody goes to Blockbuster to find a movie to watch. Gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist
Gone like
anymore.
that,
Gone
yeah.
like that. Like real quick. Streaming, internet speeds, pick up. It's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, remember record sales? Oh my goodness. They
Yeah.
would make millions and millions and millions just from selling records. Now it all went away. Napster came along, and some people freaked out, and some people lost a lot of fans because they freaked out too. Like to try to stop the tide of inevitability.
I mean, didn't Hetfield and Metallica was eventually kind of right about what they said about Napster, right?
Oh, they knew. Yeah.
They knew what was.
Well, they knew it was going away.
Yeah.
It was all going away. I mean, everybody kind of understood that this is, if you're logical and objective, I mean, you could pretend like, oh, don't worry, we're going to be fine. But if you're logical and objective, you go, oh, this is just the first bullet that landed
Right.
in this never-ending war
Right.
with digital information. Like you're not going to be able to prevent this from happening.
Yeah. I think the record companies have figured out how to make money off of streaming and to make sure that the artist probably doesn't get all that much of it.
Well, this is the beautiful thing about being independent. If you're independent, you can make money off of streaming. And if you're independent, you get all of your touring revenue, which is really where it's at. You get all of it.
Yeah,
There's
you
like
make
they
enough
make
to
it-
pay for another tour.
Well, this is what's well, it depends on how successful you are. But this is what's really crazy about some of the deals that some of these artists are signing, where the label gets a giant percentage of their touring money, which didn't used to be the case. It used to be like an artist.
They gotta
like,
find a way to pull it in somehow if they're not
Exactly.
selling the records.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
get a piece of merch. They get a piece of this. They
Yeah.
get a piece of everything.
They
They
get
just
everything.
own you.
Yeah.
And what value do they provide other than you getting the security of saying, I'm on Warner Brothers?
Just standing in the way every time you try to put out an album. They go, I don't hear a hit here. It's like, well, 'cause there are none. Okay? Wait for the next record. It's out in 2 months, But they want to make as much as they possibly can off of one record, and the one record, it puts an immense amount of pressure on an artist without developing the artist at all. What's Hunter? It's the music industry is a shallow money trench where good men die like dogs. It's a racket.
But don't you think that now less of it? Because there are people like you out there. There's, Tyler, the creator, didn't he make most of his, everything was just created by himself online, right?
I don't know.
Isn't that the case? You don't know? You don't know?
But you.
It's too hard. That's too hard. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, is it a weird one?
Him specifically, I don't know, but I would say
Folks-
that's the story that's being told.
Okay. But some people have done it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oliver Anthony for sure did it.
Yeah.
And it's, it's a new pathway. If you have something that really resonates, like your United Health song or any of your songs, like that's all you need, And then that one thing can change everything, and then people listen.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah. And the fact that you're able to do it completely independently, you're able to have like a truly authentic voice. Like it's like when you sing about, who's the guy that created it that doesn't give a fuck? What's his name?
Richard T. Burke.
Yeah, Richard T. Burke. So you can sing about Richard T. Burke doesn't give a fuck. Like it's no one's in your ear.
Nobody's telling you to be careful.
No one, yeah, no one's.
No.
So like I'm hearing, I'm like, yeah, it. People know. They know when something is authentic.
Yeah.
It's real weird. They're fucking... The way people tune into a song, there's something going on with songs. You know, it's not just like a bunch of music and a bunch of lyrics. Like, it changes the way you feel.
Yeah.
It's a drug.
Yeah.
It's a weird... Like, a good song is like a good drug.
Yeah, dude. Have you heard Freebird?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Dude.
I've heard that song about 1,000... More
Great.
than 1,000 times.
Yeah.
100,000 times, maybe even.
Yeah, if you don't think music's a drug, listen to Freebird. Listen
to that fucking guitar solo at the
Running
end.
with the Devil.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A whole lot of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fired up,
There's
dog.
There's songs that change the way you feel, that if that was a drug, that would be a very valuable drug.
Yeah.
You know?
They're little mood capsules, man.
Yeah.
I want to feel melancholy. Here's Yesterday by the Beatles.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yesterday.
So.
Yeah, there's a bunch of songs like that. Captain Jack. You know?
Is that Captain Jack?
Captain Jack will get you high tonight.
Oh, I was thinking of
It's a Billy
Captain
Joel song.
Fantastic.
No.
Elton John.
Captain Jack is one of Billy Joel's greatest songs. It's a great fucking song. It's a guy living on Long Island. It's great. It's a great song. It's like you listen to it, you're like, God damn, he nailed it. He fucking nailed it.
He's one of the greats, man.
Dude, I really appreciate you coming in, and I really love what you're doing.
Thanks for having me.
I just wanted to have you in here, shoot the shit with you, see what your process was and how you think about things, and I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
My pleasure. Tell everybody what's the best place to find you and find your stuff.
I'm online. So, get online.
Do you have what is your Instagram?
Wells Music. Wells Music.
There it is. WELLES.
Yeah.
So it's wellsmusic.com. Tour dates are all there.
Yeah.
Go out and see them. Support. Dude, continued success and best of luck to you. I really enjoy what you're doing.
Thanks
Thank
for
you very
having
much.
me.
My pleasure, brother. All right. Goodbye, everybody.